Dark Souls rap.
Just a little bit.
Dark Souls rap.
Just a little bit.
What's up, Nolan?
I've been playing more Dark Souls.
Just a little bit. Anyways.
Dark Souls rap.
Anyways.
I've been playing more Dark Souls.
Anyways.
What's up, Nolan?
That's good. Hey everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 352. God damn it.
That was an accident. I don't know why.
This as the beginning.
I don't know
such
why
a
the button
smooth-
is in the arm.
That was
Why is
such a
the button
smooth
in the-
beginning.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Thank
guys.
you.
Hey guys.
Anyways. Hey.
Hey.
God, you ruined it,
Hey
Chris.
Nick.
Hey, Crispy. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you first. Crispy,
Yes!
say hello.
I finally get to go first. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Brad Simons.
Yo.
And of course, sitting in Nolan's spot today,
Oh yeah.
Mike Pittman. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. As
It's
always,
been a hell of a long time since we've
Yeah,
had you on the
it's been a
show.
real long time.
You've been very busy.
I've been busy doing a few different things.
A lot of musical things.
Yeah, trying to level up. Bard. That's basically how I look at things. I just kind of like re-rolled my character. When
Aren't you like a mega bard by now? Shouldn't you
Nah.
be like wielding 3 guitars at once?
No, man. It takes. Unfortunately, it takes years to level up in real life.
He did get one of those things. What do you call them? The foot tambourine?
Oh yeah, the foot tambourine thing, like where you play guitar with the foot tambourine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's better when you're busking on the street so people can hear it a little bit better, and it just adds another layer to the sound going on. And
So what level do you have to be before you earn that?
What level? Let's see. Well, I look at each year as a level. So I'm level. It took me to get to level 6 until level 5 until I was able to
Okay.
do something like that.
I like that. Each year is a level.
Can it
Yeah.
really work like that, though? I mean, think about it if it was actually a game and you could just sit around. Like, you could not play the game. Like, you could not play Dark Souls. Like, if you're playing Dark Souls and your character just sits at a bonfire and every once in a while he goes up a level? That sounds kind of broken, right?
Your life game is broken. I think it's
You're using some hacks or some shit.
No way, man. No hacks, dude. Like just hours and hours of grinding.
hours
Sounds-
and hours.
That sounds like an exploit.
You know
That's what he's
practice is?
doing.
It's grinding.
Every time he does a gig,
it's
he's
great.
grinding.
Exactly. Oh, come forward a little bit.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this analogy we've created here on the show. This is nice.
And
This is good.
Speaking of life games, I'm Brad.
Wait, did I not introduce you, Brad?
I don't know. Maybe
I'm-
I did.
This
This is completely off topic, but did you know that the enhanced edition of Baldur's Gate, like on Steam, it supports like online play? So now it's real easy to set up like multiplayer games.
nice. So you have like a whole like
So you can have a whole
kind
party.
of like old school Ultima
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Dude,
That's
we
pretty
should
awesome.
totally
We should.
get a 6-man group going.
That would be really cool. That'd be really cool.
But then you wouldn't have the cool party
I'd
members.
want to play a bard. Like that's
Yeah, that's what made me think of that.
That'd be
as
really
you said
fun.
Bard.
You know,
the
if
band. The band I've been playing in lately is this like new project that I've got going on. It's called Nick's House Band, and it's like
What?
me.
What?
Nick's House Band. Yeah,
What?
That's the actual name of the band.
They named the band after
Is there
me.
anyone in the band actually named Nick?
No.
Or was
no.
that like an ironic name?
No,
of,
well,
like-
the guy, there's this convenience store owner down the street, and it's called Nick's House. You know, his convenience store. So we just called it Nick's House Band because we would all go there during practice.
Oh, nice.
And
Is Nick aware?
no, I think he doesn't work there anymore. last I heard.
We have not told him yet.
Yeah. So he's got a band named after him, but he just
awesome.
doesn't know
I'll
about
never know.
it. And yeah, it's been pretty fun. Like at the show the other night, we covered Led Zeppelin and Cake and the Beastie Boys and
Ooh.
Derek Trucks.
Was
and
that the
band.
4-hour gig you did?
No, that was another one at Sahara Lounge. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun.
Wait. A hair lounge?
Sahara.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? I was
anyway.
like, I must know what this hair lounge is.
Oh man.
All right. Anyways, let's stay on topic.
Oh yeah, back to
Video
back to
games is what we're here to talk about, as always. By the way, I also feel a little nauseous. I will try my best not to throw up on any of you.
If you need to go throw up there, just,
Why do
know,
you? Why
don't.
do
I don't know.
Drink a
Is it-
Sprite.
Just
Is
Don't
it
feel
morning
obligated to
sickness?
stay, you know, like
no, I feel I'm
Have you
fine.
been using
I'm fine.
protection?
Have
right
I
there.
been
Been using protection?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm-
Okay. Just making sure. Just making
What-
sure.
Oh, are
Like,
you
could
implying
you-
that I
could you-
could be pregnant?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not implying anything.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just. This is
Like
this
that
is all
Arnold
part of the
Schwarzenegger
deductive
movie?
process. Just eliminate possibilities.
You know, most forms of birth control are just like 99% effective, right? That's what I hear.
Dude, shut
Well,
up.
when used on men, I'm pretty sure it's 100%.
Isn't that scary?
No, that's not true. It's
That-
100% effective
they-
all the 100% of the
They
time.
just
That's
can't.
not fucking
They
true.
can't. They can't.
If you do it too many times, you're just rolling the dice.
They can't call it 100% because if by chance it does fail,
Which is not going to. Because
It's not
It
going to,
could.
but
It
if somehow-
definitely could.
something unforeseen happens and it does,
It
they can't be
definitely
held
could.
accountable.
the best
Papa Chris.
the best
It
form
could, but
of birth control.
You could also get hit by a car when you walk outside. You know, you just got to roll the dice.
Exactly. Exactly.
we all know
Being
that,
alive is very dangerous.
we all know that the best form of birth control is pulling out. Now, what have you been playing this week, Nick?
False.
Actually, we're not starting with me this week. We're going to start with Brad.
What have I been playing?
Brad, I want you to tell me about Strider. Because I was watching you play this yesterday. I have never. Is this a reboot or a sequel to an
Strider is a sequel. It's a new Strider game made by Double Helix. Strider is a very old series of video games. It hasn't been around in a very long time. In fact, the last Strider game was Strider 2 on the PlayStation 1, I believe.
You know, that
And
game.
before that, it was an arcade game / NES game. And that's it. There's not been a lot of Strider games. It's been gone for a very long time. And
It looks like a combination of Mark of the Ninja and Shadow Complex.
Okay,
Mhm.
so Mark of the Ninja and Shadow Complex are stellar games.
Sure.
It,
Are you about to bum me out? Is this you're about to tell me
yeah,
this game
I'm
sucks?
just saying you can't.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it is like Shadow Complex, but you're a ninja. It's a
Yeah, we got-
Metroidvania, but you're a ninja.
What's
But
wrong
Is it
with
fun?
that?
We got some footage.
I'm just
if you wanna
saying
see.
it's not
Ooh.
like Shadow
Oh, wow.
Complex.
That looks really cool. Look at that.
Fucking listen
He's
to
got-
me, people. Stop looking at the footage and listen to me.
But you can tell he's a ninja because he's got a red
This
scarf.
is a Metroidvania. Shadow Complex is one of the best Metroidvanias. This is just a Metroidvania. And yes, you're a ninja, like in Mark of the Ninja, but there's no stealth. This is a very fast-paced, kill everything as fast as you can game. Like
So-
Strider has always been.
Yes.
That's
Uh,
cool.
Now, the NES game had some like Metroidvania-like elements to it, where you kind of backtrack once you got abilities and stuff. This one's straight up got a big open map, Metroidvania style.
That's good. I mean,
And it's all right.
That
It's
looks
pretty
really
good.
cool.
it looks like it feels
I want
nice.
to play it right now.
So yeah, it's very fast, and you know you could run while slashing, which is always feels nice no matter what game it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
The game I was trying to think of before you said Shadow Complex was Shinobi.
Oh yeah.
It looks a little Shinobi.
Wait,
Playing
wait,
Shinobi
from
in the
PS2?
arcades.
No, okay, no.
as in you're a non-stealthy fucking ninja, and it's side-scrolling. I mean, yeah, it's fast-paced. You run around, you kill things fast.
Wasn't that what
But
you
you
did?
know, you get powers ups and abilities that Metroidvania style will unlock
Like
new secrets and areas and
range
whatnot.
upgrade.
But
What was that old school ninja game on Nintendo?
fucking Strider, okay?
No.
Listen,
Ninja
What's this
Gaiden.
trying to-
Ninja
Ninja Gaiden.
Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
That's what this reminds me of.
He's that kind of character, but it's Metroidvania. But he's like a fucking
Hey.
I'm waiting for a big butt here.
Yeah,
Brad.
what-
I'm
Like,
trying
I can't
to talk
tell if
about,
you
y'all
like
are fawning
this.
over this fucking footage.
No, I like
here.
this. This
No,
looks really
the
cool.
thing is, it's all right,
I really
and
can't.
it seems really competent, right?
Okay.
Yes.
But
But it's not. There are things about it that feel a little off. But I didn't want to get to that stuff right away. Y'all just wanted me to get to the
well,
butt.
because you present it with this tone of like your opinion's about to fall off a cliff at any second. Like I really don't know if you like this
maybe
game.
that's just the natural tone.
No, I
that-
approach it that way because y'all started throwing around words like Shadow Complex and Mark and the Ninja, and I just want to keep everyone's expectations in check. It's not quite that good.
So you're saying officially
This
That
is-
just
is
looks
no
like a 3D Ninja Gaiden to me. It looks really,
You mean a 2D?
2.5.
or 2.5D.
Well, it's
They were
it's a
rotating.
side-scrolling game. It's like fucking Symphony of the Night, right? But don't use Symphony of the Night when pitching this to someone because it's not Symphony of the Night. Yeah. So
this
yeah,
game was like Symphony of the Night, and I really liked that one.
it's competent. Things about it are a little off, like I feel like a game is in the details, stuff that really sticks with you, stuff that's really memorable is in the details, and you know it does control well as any like really fast-paced game would. And like I said, you can slash while running, which is always nice. But
Does it have Jesus boots?
Oh.
you do get lots of cool abilities
Jesus
and whatnot.
boots? What are Jesus boots?
Shadow Complex. He'd get those boots, and when he runs fast enough, he like breaks the sound barrier and can run over water.
No, he doesn't have that exactly.
Was Shadow
But he
Complex
does-
ever on the PS3? Because I don't.
No, shut up, Mike. We're not talking about fantastic games here. We're talking about Strider. Listen to me. There's something really off about the details here. Like, I feel like there is a real problem with the sound design, the sound mixing, the sound programming, sound effects. Like your hits, for example, they don't sound satisfying. It's almost like you're barely hearing them. But that's like a big deal because you're doing a lot of slashing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seems kind of like that seems pretty important in a game like this.
Right? Like what I'm saying is,
So the sound it doesn't have like.
like you
oomph
don't
as
get a
much,
really
or-
a lot of satisfying feedback from just like the simplest of things. Like you have kunais, you have your slashes, but they feel so weak and light, and the issues with sound contribute to that. Like there is a real lack of pizzazz in this game.
Oh my god.
That looked like a lot of pizzazz to me.
Well,
I mean,
I
there
mean-
was flips and
There's
stuff
all
going
kinds
on.
of flippies and there's
Let
jumps
me
and,
explain-
Like the things going
Let me give you an
on
example.
the screen.
You come into a room and there's a boss, you fight the boss is dead, and you move on. And it almost feels like it was a non-event because they forget all the little things you're supposed to do to make things like epic and exciting. You know, there's no cool like death animation or anything, and there's no, you know,
Dialogue.
that,
Between-
Like that
No, I mean-
boss intro where like some big giant robot spiders coming down the tunnel like in Shadow Complex, and you're like, oh fuck, what is that?
they
like
this stuff isn't really set up that well. It just feels like a non-event, and usually I come out of like a boss fight and just unfulfilled. You know, there's no real kick-in music that pipes in, and that might have a lot to do with the game. You know, just fucking sound mixing. You know, overall, I think the sound programming was really kind of bad in this game. There's one. So you come across like this lady ninja and you fight her, and then the next fight there's like her sister, and you eventually get into a fight where there's 3 of the sisters and you're fighting them. And again, it doesn't feel as epic as it should be because they're lacking. The game's lacking in that flash, that detail, those details you need to make things exciting. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not there.
But there's
You know-
no like presentation or storytelling like in
No, I mean,
Symphony of the
but
Night.
presentation and storytelling is not necessarily what I'm talking about here. I mean, there are some very small text boxes that pop up during conversations, and that stuff's it's not very memorable, and it almost doesn't even need to be there. And and one fucking pet peeve I have is that like there's like PA announcements as you're going through areas, you know, about like fucking, you know, whatever communist bullshit they're talking about.
Oh, you're
Like the bad
fighting
guys are
communists.
talking about. Yeah, probably. The thing is, there's a big giant text box that flashes on the screen every time that happens that'll just stay on there, like covering up the action. And you just want to, it's like fucking the Katamari games. You just want the dude to shut up so you can focus on the game. It's really strange and annoying that was a choice they made. But back on the sound design thing, I'm fighting these 3 girl ninjas, and then their attacks sync, like they all do the same attack at once, and the sound gets really fucking loud. You know what I mean? Like that's like a sound programming error when the same sound effect is happening like 3 different times, so it gets like exponentially louder. It was insane that happened in my game. I don't know if it was a glitch or again just really sloppy sound design, but I don't mean to focus on sound here, but you'd be surprised how much that kind like satisfying sound effects play into like.
No, I'm going to bring up sound a little bit when I talk about Thief in a while because
like,
that
think
game.
about how good it was in Mark of the Ninja. You know that.
Oh yeah, super important Mark of the
Yeah.
Ninja. But I
Yeah.
mean, sound design can make or break a game. You know, just any game really. I mean, and I'll bring it up again when I talk about Thief because that game has moments where it has great sound design, and moments where it has pretty much non-existent sound design. So
You know, the
Also,
game really had
also a lot of the secrets in Strider are like concept art and enemy intel, which are like things you can read about like the various enemies and stuff. Not super satisfying. You know, there are some upgrades, but there's like a total of like 10 health upgrades in the game. You're not really finding Like a lot of the secrets are just, concept art, and that's bullshit. I think a core to having a really good Metroidvania is to, having really good secrets, but behind those secrets, having stuff you actually really want, stuff that makes your character feel more powerful. Because I feel like there should be a difficulty arc in a Metroidvania where you start out and you feel really weak and you feel like you're struggling with combat. Think about Castlevania, think about Metroid, think about Shadow Complex, and there should be this arc of like, man, I gotta find these secrets and I gotta get more powerful. And by the end of those games, you just feel like a god, and I feel like that's important to this type of game. But when your secrets are fucking concept art, it's like where's the motivation to even find that stuff, which should be everything in this
You know what
type
game did unlockable and secrets and stuff really great, and I don't think enough games do. Well, this is kind of specific to this particular type of genre of game, I guess. But Mortal Kombat, that whole thing, that was so addictive.
That's a little off topic, but like think about a Metroidvania that was very hyped, but when people played it, they were like, this is okay, but now no one talks about it. Remember Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet?
Oh,
all the secrets in that game were what? Fucking concept art.
I never looked at them
really
either.
outdated. That's a really outdated concept, especially in the age of like Google Image Search. Like, why would they reward me with something that if I wanted to see cool concept art from a game, I'll just go type in the name of the game into Google and
Just
find
get
it
the
all.
wallpaper.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, why would I go out of my way in the game to find that?
But
I
the
think
thing-
you just melted some people's minds, Chris.
a lot of parts of this game
Concept art for such and such game.
a lot of this game feels competent, and like I said, it's fast and it's fun, and I'm finally getting some abilities that actually are pretty fun to use. But it's going to be in these details that I feel like are going to keep this game from being that memorable for me.
So, but how do you feel about it, knowing that it's a Double Helix game, in terms of like looking at Double Helix's past?
So I think this game is definitely better than, like, this is one of the highlights of their pretty fucking poor history of game making. So
Okay.
so if you look at this, and if you look at Killer Instinct, which a lot of people liked last year, Double Helix, we talked about this on the last podcast, like they're maybe turning things around, and it's, now they're owned by Amazon, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know, but Strider,
because I was
seems
watching you play
pretty
this the
good.
other night, and I was thinking, I was just like, just the short amount of time I was watching you play it, I got that like itch to play a game like Shadow Complex or like
Mark of the
Ninja, and I was just like, God.
So maybe
If this is the next best, if this is the only thing like it right
so
now,
maybe play Dust in Elysium, Del.
I did, but I didn't finish it. But I mean, I have played, probably about 70% of that game.
Is Mark of the Ninja on iOS?
No, and why do you ask that? No.
Why?
And even if it was,
Damn it.
I don't think you should play it on.
I don't have a
iOS.
gaming system anymore. Like,
You can play Mark of the Ninja on PC.
oh, it's compatible on PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on Steam.
It doesn't need too many requirements.
No.
All right.
No, dude, it's all like it's that like kind of animation style graphics that Clay
Okay.
used.
Well, I got a
in
pretty old
Shank.
laptop, so you'll
Yeah.
be surprised.
I'm sure. I'm sure you can handle it.
Oh
man.
Like I said, I still have. In my head, I have a Metroidvania manifesto that I want to get out into words one day, and I want this to be a research for people that they can reference. Like I want this to be reference material for these designers to use. Like, hey, I want to make a game like Symphony of the Night. It's not as easy as you think it is. There's a lot of things you need to hit. A lot of people think they're doing it, but they're missing out on a lot of the things that, like I said, I play a lot of Metroidvanias, and when I say that Shadow Complex like deserves to be up there with the namesake of the fucking genre, the namesakes of the genre, like that's impressive. And a lot of people think that they could just make a game like Shadow Complex. No, there's a lot to it, and Strider gets some of those things right. It's fast, it's fun to play.
Just drops the ball in a few of the other
Drops the
areas.
ball in a few areas that
Important
is really
areas.
annoying. So one other last thing about this game that really annoys me is that I feel like it's impossible to play this game without getting hit. And that's kind of frustrating because they balance that out with the fact that every enemy you kill gives you a little bit of health. But to me, that's sloppy design. You know, I feel like I want to be good enough to where, you know, I could read these bullet patterns and I could just dodge them. You know what I mean? I can handle it. You know, think about something like Dark Souls. People play that through that entire game at level 1. Why? Because it's got such tight design to where if you're good enough, you could just not take damage. You know what I mean?
You could just,
if
you
you have
know,
good enough
not suck.
equipment.
Like, and that goes for like any really well-made game, to be completely honest. You know, but in Strider, you're just constantly soaking up damage, and the only way you can survive is to get health. And I sort of come to grips with the fact that, okay, well, in this situation, it's not about avoiding taking damage. It's about killing enemies as fast as I can so I can minimize the amount of damage I do take. And that's fine, but again, it feels a little sloppy. It feels like that health from all enemies was an afterthought that they put in the game to balance out a system that really couldn't support proper, like, you know, dodging. Like, for example, like they shoot out bullet patterns. Like, if there's more than 2 guys on the screen and they're shooting lasers at you, you're just gonna get hit. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That for this type of game, you know, this comes from an era of, like, you know, Mega Man games and Ninja Gaiden games where getting hit was dodging getting hit was like everything. You know, it's learning patterns, mastering those patterns, and just not getting hit. This is not that type of game. But, you know, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's different. It's a little sloppy. It can still be fun. You know, like I said, just kill enemies as fast as you can.
I think when you see, I hate to say it like this, but, you know, Double Helix's name kind of cropped up when this game was being promoted, obviously. So I don't think expectations were super high. So I think it's nice to see it come out the gate and still be fun to play.
Yeah, you're right. This is better than anything I would have ever expected from Double Helix, to be completely honest. You know, I do recommend it because, like I keep saying, it's still fast and fun, and, you know, there's still not a lot of Metroidvanias out there.
What platforms is it on?
Pretty much everything.
And how much is it?
PC and all consoles except Nintendo consoles. I think $15.
Cool. All right. There was another game you played this week, Brad, didn't you? You played some Earth Defense Force.
Yeah, Earth Defense Force 2025
with the big bugs.
Oh man, we saw that at PAX. It was pretty.
What kind of game is that?
Pretty crazy.
Oh, you've never played Earth Defense Force?
Is an Earth Defense Force game.
I never played
It's
Earth
like
Defense
it's
Force.
like
So
it's like Starship Troopers, but if that was Japanese.
Okay.
not even Japanese. Like, this is it's a.
Is it a
I
strategy
sort of
game?
had this revelation. No, it's a third person shooter that you play. You know, I was playing cooperatively online with Daithwing, who's a big Earth Defense Force fan as well, and you go into a mission. This is a Sandlock game. They made, you know, like Robot Alchemic Drive.
Yeah.
See me play that, right? Well, Earth Defense Force is you're like a soldier, and you're killing bugs, giant bugs that are invading the planet, and giant robots, and just giant alien UFOs.
Many giant threats.
And the
You're
gameplay is
defending
super. Here's what it looks like.
See, that looks Japanese. Like,
He's flying around in a
So
fucking...
this is a new class where you can actually
with
fly
cyber-
around.
That reminds me of a
Cyber Fair
what was
Wings.
that game on the Xbox?
Probably Earth
Defense
Defense Force 2017.
No, it was something else.
It was Earth Defense
Oh, but
Force.
the cool
So
thing is-
a couple of these games did come out on 360.
Okay.
All of those buildings are destructible, right?
Yes. Now my class doesn't have any explosives right now, so it can't destroy stuff. But
The fuck
this
is
is a very. I can understand why someone would play an Earth Defense Force game and not really like it. And I sort of had this revelation while playing it, and that's Earth Defense Force is like Dynasty Warriors,
Yes. This
but
looks
with
really
guns
cool.
and bugs.
See, I like
It-
games
it-
like this with a lot of shit going on and
So
a lot
let
of
me
stuff you gotta
let me
kill.
tell you a couple. Now, if you like, the shooting's not great. There's no real AI to speak of. These ants just kind of bounce around. The buildings are made
Yeah.
of fucking. Might as well be made of paper. You just run around shooting bugs, and then you go on to the next mission where you run around, you start shooting spiders and stuff. You know,
Which aren't bugs.
It doesn't look like
Yeah.
like challenging or reactive like Vanquish.
well,
to where
no. This is not like
Yeah.
that type of game. This is if Vanquish is to Earth Defense Force as fucking Bayonetta is to Dynasty Warriors. Listen, this is the Dynasty Warrior of shooters. And I finally but what's cool about Earth Defense Force is, one, the scale is pretty cool. Like you'll be fighting like UFOs up in the sky, or like giant ass like robots and stuff, and that stuff is huge. And you can be fighting like hundreds of them at a time.
Yeah.
And there's something amazing about that. I mean, the frame rate can't really keep up, but it doesn't matter. That's part of the charm of the game. What matters is that you're fighting hundreds of giant fucking robots at once, and that's just cool. The other cool thing about Earth Defense Force is it's super addictive. What makes it addictive is all these bugs and stuff you're killing, they're constantly dropping things. They're constantly dropping these boxes that either give you, restore your health, or they give you armor upgrades or weapons.
Yeah.
That you get at the end of a mission, you open up all those boxes and you see what all those weapons were. And the game just has hundreds of different weapons and weapon types in it, and it's so fun. What's so fun
Wait,
about
that
Earth
all feel
Defense Force?
distinct?
Yes,
Whoa.
there's crazy, and that's what makes Earth Defense Force great. It's this addiction of getting all these weapons, finding out what they are, and experimenting with them, because some of them are so crazy. Like right here, I'm using this reflective laser that bounces off of everything like 1 billion times, and I also have this orb that I throw out into the sky that shoots out lasers everywhere and attacks everything. And there's weapons that are like completely like different, like they're just insane. Like in the
those civilians.
like
Just standing there?
like in this one mission, I was fighting these giant robots that were storming a beach, and me and Deathwing, we were getting like destroyed. Right, he would die really quickly. He's playing a class called a Fencer, which actually has melee skills, and he has like these double fucking hammers that will create this earthquake in front of him. But certain weapon types will actually give, even though he's a slow moving class, it'll give him the ability to jump up in the air or like do a dash. So he actually has some mobility depending on which weapons he equips. But it doesn't matter, he was getting wasted. I had this rocket launcher that would shoot out these super slow moving rockets, pink rockets into the air, and they would be super slow. To the point where if something moved, but they lock on. So I would go onto the edge of the map and just start hammering on that rocket button, and I would just fill the air with these slow-moving pink rockets. And eventually, they would hit this giant walking robot, and you would just see this giant robot getting pelted with these rockets, and pink mist flying off of him. And it was awesome. It's just awesome, and it's crazy that I found this weapon, but. All the you get like you can get up to like half a dozen new weapons every fucking map, and they're kind of like card packs. You don't know what they are. So you can get doubles, for example, like weapons that you already have, but that's just part of the fun. You never know what you're gonna get, but it very much has that one more mission mentality, where you kind of always want to go, because even if you don't get new weapons, you always get these armor pickups, and these armor pickups will raise your maximum hit points no matter what. So it's always worth it. And you'll see these boxes everywhere in this footage, just littering the ground. It's fun just wasting bugs and getting all the pickups and trying out new weapons. And
So
Sounds like it's fun to play.
So what exactly is the
Point? Defend Earth.
yes, defend Earth.
Oh,
You're
okay.
the Earth Defense Force.
My bad.
It's really dumb fun, and I've never really understood maybe why someone would like a game like Dynasty Warriors, but after this revelation I had, I kind of get it. Because I know that game's all about unlocking new characters and seeing what they do. This is kind of the same thing, but you're unlocking weapons and stuff, and it's just really fun and dumb. And like all the other like members of there's like AI companions that are completely useless, but they're there to say stupid, cheesy B-movie things, which are hilarious. Like oh my god, look at that giant spider, or like run. They just say stupid, hilarious things, and it's just really, really.
I hope the dialogue's a little more
really
creative
dumb
than what
fun.
you just came up with.
No, it's not creative at all, but that's what makes it funny. And or they'll be like chatting amongst themselves. This is a really cool game to play co-op with a friend and just kind of hang out
Sounds
and
like
kill
it.
bugs. You know what I mean?
Maybe do some drinking.
Yeah.
Drinking and killing some bugs.
Sure. Yeah, and I should be playing some more this week, and I think David actually picked up a copy. So
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at
he'll
all.
be joining with me in some co-op, and not all classes can fly like this. This is just the class that I picked. But yeah,
But that is really cool. Like if your character had explosives, that giant building that you're
Yeah,
trying
everything
to ascend,
everything's fucking
you
destructible.
could just drop that.
That's pretty
But
cool.
my class doesn't really have explosives.
that.
I'm going to start another mission here in a second
Can
that
you-
has very different weapons.
Can you use demolition to your advantage to like take out?
Like, can you drop a building on a bug and kill it?
Am I thinking too much into this?
Well, I mean,
Perhaps it may not be that kind
I
of
think
game.
if bugs are climbing all over a building when you blow it up, I think they take damage. But like I said, it's this whole one more mission thing. You know, what weapons
Is that
am I
a
gonna
Death
get?
Star? What is
They,
that?
there's crazy fucking things, dropships that are just dropping ants out of the sky, and you gotta.
Sounds like it
destroy
has
them.
addictive gameplay, and ultimately,
It's very addictive. It's very fun.
that's what matters.
It's kind of a simple game, but it's surprisingly.
How much is this
Rewarding.
game?
Well, going back to your sound issue with it not carrying weight, I thought of a good game that does a good job of carrying a lot of weight with the sound. And in Dragon's Dogma, whenever you would like
Yeah.
come straight down on something,
No,
it
no,
really
no,
felt like there was
sound.
you see
I
a little
really love
pause
Dragon's
underneath the
Dogma.
door.
Yeah,
That's
no,
hilarious.
sound
just
design in
desperate.
Dragon's Dogma is really good.
Yeah.
Actually, like
And
just
and the animation too, like, because there was like this, I don't know, slight hesitation when you would hit, and it just everything like came together so well. So I could totally see how sound would have a great.
Well, then why don't I use that? And
Impact.
cause I do want to talk about sound because I've been playing Thief, which we're also going to be playing tonight for New Release Tuesday, directly following the podcast. So if you're watching us live at 4pp.tv, stick around after the show. We'll probably play the prologue chapter of Thief, give you kind of a taste of what that game actually turned out to be like. This being the game from Eidos Montreal. I'm not sure if it's the exact team or if it's just a sub team working underneath that moniker. The team that brought you Deus Ex Human Revolution, maybe some different talent.
no, it's
was
a
a
different
good
team within
game.
that studio.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So that these long-awaited sequel to Thief, which I didn't even realize till last week. It's been a long time since a Thief game came out. Right? When was the last one?
2003, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't.
2004.
It's been over a
Original
decade.
Xbox?
Original Xbox. And
It skipped a generation.
It's been 10 years since
practically.
2004.
I know,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
Wow.
Graduated high school 10 years ago. Jeez. I did at least. So Thief is out. There's been a lot of speculation about this game, and even some of the trade shows and whatnot that we've seen it at, it didn't show necessarily that great, and there was a lot of backlash due to some design decisions that were made. But they've responded to that, and
Is that Thief right now?
that is Thief right now.
That looks like Skyrim.
He's thieving.
It does have a little bit. Yeah, it has some. I see where you're going with that. But I guess what I want to talk about sound
UI
wise,
is very scary.
this game has. I don't know what it is. When you're actually in this game, sneaking around, stealing stuff, dodging guards, whatever, it sounds great, in my opinion. I think that, everything has weight to it. When you walk on different surfaces, it makes different types of noise. You have to be cognizant of how much weight you're carrying when you're walking across wood versus through water, through on carpet, and everything kind of plays into whether you're going to be successful at sneaking through an area. That's really cool. Then you get to things like cutscenes, especially pre-render cuts, like CG cutscenes, which have this really nullified sound design. You'll see tonight when we're broadcasting one of the major cutscenes. It seems like they just kind of forgot to put in sound effects. There's two completely different schools of design of sound design going into this game. It's really weird. But
So they use pre-render cutscenes. I wonder why they even.
they
use
do
them.
it the beginning and ending of missions, I guess. I mean, you're not really gonna, at least
Well,
from what I've seen so far, like this part right here.
Looks
He's
alright.
sneaking through. At the very beginning, you're sneaking through this room that has all these bird cages, and if you move too suddenly or around these birds, they will start squawking and making noise or whatever, which will obviously alert guards and to your presence. And that kind of stuff's really great. Things when you're like you're about to see him feel around on this painting to try and find a hidden switch behind the painting. And that all sounds great. It looks great. And the cool thing is you can turn all of this UI stuff off. So because right now,
How would you find the switch?
well,
You
it's
should do that.
they give you feedback on the controller,
Vibration?
slight
yeah.
vibration. So you can turn all that off, so you can feel around the room of the painting, and then just guess based on the vibration you're getting on the controller, which is really cool. And as you saw, we talked about it a few weeks ago. They have all the options as far as the way you choose difficulty. You can literally this is why I think it might be a little bit up Mike's alley, is because you can literally turn off everything and customize your experience based on like I could have spent like 45 minutes just going through that your custom difficulty settings and choosing. You can every little piece of the UI is completely controllable. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, you can have it fade out when you're not using it, and to the point where everything is there's no HUD at all, and you can even set it to, if you get caught, you fail a mission. If you kill someone, you fail a mission. If you take anybody out, you fail a mission. Like you can customize the experience you want to have, and from what I can tell so far, that all works great.
Yeah.
And I almost too well. I think I accidentally set it.
Has all these options that you can just like customize.
Yeah, when you go to create new game, it says choose. It'll say the easy, normal, and hard, right? But then it says custom. When you click custom, there's just like swath of all these different options you can.
I'd like to check that out.
Turn on. Yeah, we'll play with it on the feed here, and so you can get a feel for it. But that stuff's really cool. Like, and I have a feel like I kind of feel like I'm gonna end up liking this game. It's getting some kind of lukewarm reviews from some people, and I can see why. I kind of feel like this might be one of those situations in which maybe hardcore fans of Thief are going to notice the differences more than I have.
You had the.
It looks like Assassin's Creed now.
You had the marker turned on that told you where to go.
Oh, this is Chris's footage. I didn't record this. Okay. But yeah, I turned off the way marker. There's no way marker. I turned off you can turn off the icons that appear when you can interact with things, so you don't know. Like you can put out candle. You can put out candles.
I would have those on.
No, I mean I kind of wanted to pick up on that stuff. It'll tell you. I mean, well, you can turn it off if you want. It'll tell you like tutorial things at the beginning, like the first time, like, hey, you can put out candles with your fingertips.
How linear is the game? Is it open world?
See, there is a open world like hub area, and then there are missions that branch off from that. And the thing is, some of them, from what I hear, are pretty linear. I don't know if all of them
it looks
are
like
that
a
linear.
pretty linear game.
Which that I think is what's bugging some of the reviewers.
Probably. The thing is, it's linear in that the world design is linear. There is it goes from point A to point B, but even in the prologue, I feel like there are plenty of areas in which you can approach it different ways. Yeah. So the actual gameplay itself is not necessarily linear.
but how would you compare it to something like Deus Ex? Deus Ex 3, I'm sorry.
You mean Human Revolution?
Yeah.
The thing is, I haven't really explored the hub world yet. I think it's all hinge upon that. And I've heard some people say they like the hub world, and some people say they didn't like it.
What does the hub world mean? Is it like some main? Can you do anything in the hub world that?
See, that's what I don't know yet. I've literally only played the prologue chapter of this game and kind of just got into the city, the hub city.
Okay.
But I didn't have time to do much else. So that's kind of where I think this game is gonna make it or break it.
So Garrett, come on.
So I could sit here explaining like Thief. Like I've been playing Thief 2, obviously. Like what a level of Thief 2 would be like, but that would be a waste of time. Dishonored was a game that all of us played, right?
Yeah.
That was very much like Thief in terms of like you go into a level and it's just like a big space, and you have like an objective in that, and you got to figure out sort of how to get in there and the best way to get in there, and maybe to do your thing and kind of get out. But it was very much like that, like big open spaces that you can kind of explore and find stuff in, and ultimately, okay, let's go do my objective. Like, how close is it to something like a Dishonored level?
I feel like the character movement, the traversal and whatnot. Maybe not traversal, because Dishonored had Blink, which obviously opened up traversing the game infinitely.
Well, this has like
you don't have
a
that.
shadow dodge,
Blink was
right?
so awesome.
You have the kind of the closest thing you would have to Blink is like if you're concealed in a shadow, if you can't be seen, you have the ability to do a swoop, which you could look over to another shadow. So if there's a space of light in between two shadows and you're in one of those shadows, you can press X and he'll like quickly dodge to the next shadow. And that feels pretty nice, but that's kind of
Can you get
as good as it
caught
gets.
doing that?
I haven't
Or is
tried
that,
doing
like,
it
roll
like with a guard looking directly at me.
Okay, here's something that I'm
It's mostly if
curious-
there's a guard like walking away and you
Right.
have a split second to make that move, you can just
before he
swoop
like
over
turns
there.
around
Yeah.
like that. Here's something I'm curious about. Now you haven't played much of this yet,
No,
right?
not yet.
Have you had a chance to do any like side missions yet? Because a lot of what I've been hearing is that the main storyline maybe isn't so good, but that a lot of the side missions are actually pretty interesting. That like a lot of the stuff that you're gonna remember and take away from this game are like these little side missions.
Yeah, I can see that being the case. I mean, I think the setup for the main story is kind of interesting because like
You did the part with the girl.
yeah,
falling into the
magic.
yeah, but I mean the setup is that you obviously play as Garrett, who's an experienced thief, and there's this girl I don't know much about yet. Maybe she's a character from the other ones. I don't know, but you've had kind of like a falling out with her, and like you stopped working with her because she had some questionable methods, and she was kind of reckless. And then you kind of meet up with her again. You're both going after the same thing, and then at the very end of the kind of like the prologue, this is not really a spoiler because it
Are we gonna
happens at the very
play
beginning.
that part after the
Yeah,
show?
so you'll
Well,
see
But
what
this
happens.
is the trailer that they show with like those guys doing
Yeah.
the magic and
Yeah.
she falls through
Yes,
the window.
but you're kind of you end up kind of being somewhat responsible, for what happens to her, and I don't even know what necessarily
happened to her.
happens to her exactly. So I literally just got through the prologue, and it dropped me in the hub city, and then I had
I
to
bet
stop.
it's gonna get pretty
It's
fantastical.
it's gonna get fantastical.
Thief gets pretty supernatural.
Yeah, and I don't know how
Very supernatural.
I don't know how great that overarching main plot line for the game is going to end up being, but the things that I do like about this game so far are it has that same feel as Dishonored does, as I feel like the world that you're in feels lived in. It feels detailed. The sound design when you're moving through it is great, and it feels like there are people going about their lives doing things.
But I brought up Dishonored very specifically in reference to level design, and you haven't
Yes.
really touched on that.
Well, the thing is, I don't know, but because I haven't played it one of the full blown
That's
levels.
fair enough,
I would
yeah.
like to get through the prologue rather quickly on New Release Tuesday, and then explore some of that hub world. I have a feeling most of the missions that you go on that break off from that hub are probably going to be fairly linear.
You know, one thing I saw Carlos talking, because I think Carlos is playing it, and he was talking about it on Twitter, and he was complaining about how there's so many things to pick up, and everything has that grabbing animation. Is that something that you could see becoming like tedious, or
I mean,
or what? Because in the original Thief, it was just there was no animation. You just
just
click, click, click,
disappears.
click.
yeah, but the
you know,
animation doesn't. I mean, they do. It seems like they went through a lot of trouble to keep you feeling immersed in that first person mode, because when you look down you can see your feet kind of like moving, and he moves very like ninja like, as he's like when you're walking across beams you can see your feet taking these like really
Ninja-like, perhaps even
ninja-like steps.
Thief-like.
Thief-like, whatever.
Thieves are just
Thank
like,
you, Brad.
Thieves are just white ninjas, right?
That animation maybe could. There is a lot of stuff to grab. I mean, you are a thief. You are stealing every little
Can
thing
you
you can.
climb up any side of like any building or like?
No, see the thing is you
You
don't.
can't even jump.
He's not
What?
a.
That seems so weird to me. It's
Yeah,
all,
I
it's
didn't
all
notice that.
contextual.
You can't. It is contextual, but I mean, like,
Wait,
he's not like a skilled like.
you can't jump.
Climber.
He doesn't. He's not like
A
Assassin's
skilled
Creed. He's
jumper.
not. He's not like jumping up all over these things. There's not really. I haven't come across an instance yet where there's really a need to jump. You can jump
get
off
like
of
a-
things.
You get like a hook
Gotcha.
or like a grabber thing that you'll see spots that will let you climb.
Yeah.
I've
But
seen
suppose
have,
a
like,
thief
the rope
wouldn't be
darts.
jumping around too
And
much.
And of course, you get
the rope darts.
all the different arrows.
rope
You have
arrows.
like I've played around with the water arrows.
Well, it doesn't
and-
look like the levels are even really conducive
He
towards jumping.
He
or
can't
just jumping on
jump
anything.
because he's got a huge sack of loot. I mean, come on.
maybe.
Does
I mean,
he have a big sack?
Well, I mean, he
guess
takes
would.
That'd
he
be
takes
great,
a
right?
lot of shit in this
Well, I
game.
mean, he's picked up like 9 of those cups while we've been talking about this. Like,
I mean, it's kind of based on like you could steal every like any little thing that looks like it has value. You can steal, and the
Do you
cool
actually
thing
get
is
money
you can
for it or what?
you get
Yeah.
money and you can use that to buy equipment and arrows.
like
and
every
shit.
time he picks something up, it like throws up a little value in gold for it.
I
But
really wanna
what
play.
the thing is that I think like because when you're playing it, if you don't mess around with the options in the game, I could see how it could come across as very linear and very scripted and you
For
know,
sure.
but if you turn off some of those things, it really does become a game of like really looking through the environment, and you could easily miss things. You can turn off the glint of stealable items.
Shit.
So they just
So
blend into them.
when you go into a room, it just looks like a fucking room, and
I
then
think
you
you should
you have
just
to kind of
turn
figure out what
all
you can
that
take.
off.
Yeah. See, I think that would be a big difference.
See, that's
You
the
know,
cool thing. You
if-
can
Make it
if you
more
want to
like
play it
the
like that,
old
you can
games.
play it like that.
They probably maybe try to tailor it to where you can play it like the old Thieves, or have it be as hard as the old Thieves.
Yeah.
or-
When you gotta understand, like the old Thieves, you would have like a big giant area with like maybe a big giant mansion or a big giant bank, and you'd have some intel of like, this is going on the second floor. Maybe you'll find this person on the third floor, and you'd have a map that wouldn't even tell you where you were on the map. It was just like a handwritten map
That's awesome.
of like the layout.
Just a diagram.
Yeah,
of the-
yeah, it was just like a handwritten layout of like that bank that maybe
Yeah, and the
purchased.
design-
and you would
Kinda
have to
had to
figure
figure
out
out.
where you were and kind of where maybe your destination was based on the intel that you have, and you explored. I mean, you were exploring a giant space. You'd find rooms that didn't really have anything in them. Maybe a couple things you could steal, but they didn't serve. They just served the purpose of making that place feel like a bigger, more believable structure. You weren't so much in a level as you were in a place.
Yeah, no. As it was like this game has adopted a very modern approach to designing this kind of game, and as a result, it may not feel like you have a mini map just like you would any other first-person action game. That mini map rotates, although you can turn off. So you know how mini maps nowadays, if you turn, it'll rotate the mini map to kind of adjust to what you're looking at. You can turn that off, so you won't. So those are the kind of things you can tweak, but it's not going to have that same level of.
I would definitely
Well,
not,
see,
not
like,
play
right
with this
now-
little waypoint though. that
Yeah,
I'm
like
seeing in the
right
footage.
now, like kind of what you're talking about is being demonstrated on screen. Like he's got very specific objectives. It's like, okay, go over here to the cart.
This is
and
a
then sneak
tutorial.
across,
This
yeah.
is like a tutorial.
And it's like, so I mean, you think that the other levels, like when you're in an actual like story mission, it's not going to chop it up as much.
Maybe
It's
not.
more just like, hey, there's a jewel in this room that you need to steal.
See, that's what I'm hoping.
Go get it.
I'm hoping the levels rely a lot on just giving you the freedom to decide the way you want to approach
But this
it.
this is a tutorial. This is just like
This is
teaching
all
you how to play the
tutorial,
game.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is like an opening story-driven thing.
Yeah, it's a story-driven sequence. They use the sequence to both introduce the story and the characters as well as all the mechanics.
It sounds like the big success of this game is actually its atmosphere.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere is great. I do like the atmosphere a lot, and it's polished. It's polished to high hell, and I think that's kind of what it's going to be most memorable for. But I can definitely see. I think this is one of those games where it may rub a lot of like fans of the traditional Thief games the wrong way. But I would like to, because Brad, you said maybe we should have a conversation about it once we both finish it, because this will be the only Thief game I've ever played through to completion, and I would like to have a conversation with someone who's maybe played. some of the
I do
old
want to
ones.
play this. I do hear there's a scary level
In this one. Oh, that's good.
That sounds pretty cool.
Every
I think
Thief
they've
game
done-
kind of has like its scary level, sort of.
I think they've done a couple different like homage levels too, like old Thief, like the bank.
Well,
Was
the bank.
supposed to
Yeah, I mean,
be
there's
one.
a big bank mission in Thief 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about this game that I like a lot so far is like just how much attention you have to pay to. Oh, this is one thing that I like. So you have to pay a lot of attention to what kind of surface you're walking on,
Yeah,
and how
that's just like.
which is great. But like there is one point where I was trying to. There's two guards walking through a courtyard, and I kind of watched to see if I can get a feel for their movements through the field. And there was this one corner where this guy kind of goes on the corner. It's like that's my opportunity to knock him out. But I went down there and I kind of hid for a second. And when he walked away, I was like, I got to get to a point where he won't see me coming up on him. But there was some candles there that were illuminating the corridor he was walking in. And I put the candles out right as he turned around, and he heard the tss,
But he couldn't see you.
and he stopped and he goes, "Who's there?" And he turned around and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I backed into a corner and he walked over and he relit the candles. And I was like, "Oh shit! I didn't see that coming." And then after that, he didn't just go right back to his regular like path that he was walking on. I thought he was gonna do that. He ended up like going in a completely different circle and like looking around for me for a minute, and I had to like react to him taking a new path kind of on the fly, and that was kind of cool. I didn't expect at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There are. I feel like there's going to be some cool elements to it, but I think it's ultimately going to kind of hinge upon how you feel about it being a little bit more of a linear experience.
I'd be really interested in playing this. I just
seems-
wish it didn't come out this week.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
This was a really bad time.
No.
Why?
I mean,
a
with
lot.
South Park next week, and then
Next week?
Titanfall,
Dude,
and
next week's new release Tuesday is South Park.
yeah, and then
South Park
Wait,
looks
wait,
awesome.
South
Titanfall
Park
and
is
Dark
next
Souls
week?
2 the week
South Park
after
looks
that.
so fun.
Dude, yeah, the next couple
I
weeks are
gamed
gonna
like
be crazy.
Castlevania. Oh man,
Get ready. Get
South
ready.
That's one
Park.
game that I do regret not having a PS3 for.
What?
Is the South Park game, because that looks like a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, South Park's next week, and then fucking Dark Souls, dude, the week after that,
Yeah.
bro. Bro.
You gonna regret not playing that one?
Yeah, man. But
And Titanfall.
That's okay.
And Titanfall.
it's okay.
Oh,
and the
man.
new Metal Gear.
Yeah. the
Which
new
that's
Metal-
gonna come up
but
later
I'll
on the
wait.
show,
I'll
too.
just wait. I'll just wait till the PS4 price drops and then buy all these games.
Got it. Good plan. All right. So Mike, you've been playing
What have I been playing?
Dungeon Keeper.
I played Dungeon Keeper for a little bit.
What? First of all, before you, I know there's a specific aspect of this game you want to talk about, but what is Dungeon Keeper? Exactly?
Dungeon Keeper is this old school strategy game where you design the dungeons that keep out the heroes, and it was created by Peter Molyneux. Apparently, one of the dogs is interested in listening in on.
Has a lot
What's
to say
going on?
about Dungeon
Yeah.
Keeper.
Avid Dungeon Keeper fan. But no, it's just like this. It's like this strategy game, and you create these awesome dungeons, and you just keep out all these heroes. And
Have you ever played Dungeon Defender? Is it similar to that?
No.
Okay.
This is.
I don't
It's
know.
like sort of set up your dungeon and your dungeon.
Oh, you actually
kills the
like you
hero.
build the whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah, your
Okay,
dungeon is supposed
trash
to
stuff.
kill the heroes.
So
that
it's
are
kind of like
infiltrating it.
the next step up from like a tower defense sort of thing. Or
Kinda,
instead of
I
just
mean,
like
it's-
placing things on a track, you're like actually building the whole.
Yeah, you're like knocking down walls and putting up.
I'm sorry, I've
certain
never
things,
actually
and
seen this game. I'm just,
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's like I think $6 on GOG.com, which is the only reason I'm really playing it is because it was free for 24 hours in response to EA's microtransaction
Yeah.
So it's the
gutted
riddle.
version of Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, okay.
it's been a real controversial thing that hey, EA finally brought back Dungeon Keeper, and it's bullshit,
Mm.
and it pissed a lot of people off. A lot of Dungeon Keeper because Dungeon Keeper is kind of a beloved franchise.
Yeah, when I saw it was coming out for like I guess phone or whatever, I was like, oh shit, cool. That looks like a cool.
yeah,
Then I started reading about it, and apparently it's this one big microtransaction fest. And
yeah.
so in response, GOG.com, being the good guys that they are, let Dungeon Keeper 2 out for free. Like they just for 24 hours, I think they were giving it away for free. So
Yeah.
like
people
if
who-
you've never played, this is why we're upset.
yeah,
Like-
exactly. Like here's the game, check it out. And so I've played it before in the past. I used to have the disc,
Yeah.
and I lost it somewhere on my 30 years of birth. And
Gotcha.
And so it's cool to just play it again and have it and relive it a little bit. But I've also been playing a little bit of Arcanum again.
Oh wow.
So Arcanum's this old school top-down isometric RPG game, and it's made by the same guy who did Fallout 1, Tim Kaine, I think. I think his name's Tim Kaine. And it's just, this combined magic / steampunk kind of world. And
Very, very much kind of like a Fallout or like a Baldur's Gate.
yeah, it's like an old school Fallout 1 or 2, like Planescape Torment, like that kind of game. And it's just, I mean, all the patches and mods that have been released by all the fans have fixed a lot of the issues that
Yeah.
brought the game down when it first came out. So now it's just this really awesome experience, and it's a pretty deep game.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you? Oh, go ahead.
It's developed by Troika, which is
Where have I heard that?
well, they're also the developers of Vampire the Masquerade
Okay.
Bloodlines, which I've been playing,
Yeah.
which is another amazing game. But both of these games are just fucking riddled with, when they came out, were like horrifying bugs that over the years the fans have fixed these games. So
Yeah.
now they're looked on, like upon release, they were like these great things that had issues, but now they're looked back on of like, hey, now that these problems are fixed, these really are some of the best RPGs ever.
They've been refined by the
And
fans.
it's funny because those guys, after Troika closed down, a lot of those guys formed Obsidian,
Yeah.
which is also now known as being a studio that puts out very buggy games. So,
Good games, but buggy.
Yeah,
How buggy do you think South Park is going to be?
Well, I
It
mean,
looks
well-
pretty polished. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, it's easy to disguise that because it looks like a episode of South Park.
And it's funny because Alpha Protocol, which is also Obsidian, is now like people are looking back on it, as in like this was kind of a buggy mess when it came out, but
Yeah.
there was actually a lot of really amazing things going on here, and it's looked back now with reverence.
Yeah.
And I think I forget what site it was. It was like PC Gamer or whatever did their like top 50 Western RPGs of all time, just like Western RPGs. Not only was Arcanum on there really high, so was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines,
Nice.
and even Alpha Protocol is on that list of all-time great.
Man,
Western
I have that
RPGs.
game. I bought that game because
Yeah.
we talked about it so much, and I haven't played it yet. I gotta find time to play that.
I also beat Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, not Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles.
is it
Right?
Xenoblade Chronicles.
That's what
Yeah.
it's called.
Okay.
You spent a year on the game, Mike. I would certainly hope you know
that's
the name of the game.
It's a very long game. Did you? Oh, there's a new trailer talk going out first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Right, and there's new gameplay footage of X.
Really?
You should
Sweet.
watch. You should watch that
It
because
looks pretty
it's
cool.
straight up Xenoblade.
Yeah.
The combat
Just
system.
but updated.
But with fucking mechs and giant guns and
That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, it took me about a year to beat Xenoblade Chronicles, and I think I clocked around 89 to 90 hours in the game. And I thought I was close to beating it around level 80.
Were you playing it on the Wii, or were you running on
I
like
was
an
playing it
emulator?
on the Wii.
Okay.
And yeah, so I almost beat it about 2.5 months ago. And then I wasn't high enough level, so I went and grinded. I would pick it up every once in a while and grind for like
Yeah.
an hour or two, and then put it down. And finally, after 2 months, I got to level 87 or 88, and then tried it again and finally beat it. And
Yeah.
it's just this epic, awesome, I guess rare.
Colorful.
Yeah, colorful. I guess it's rare now, right? To find it on the.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, when that game came out retail, wasn't it only available for purchase at GameStop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
It was
is-
one
which
of
is kinda
those
weird.
Project Rainfall or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Project Rainfall.
Those three were all exclusive released by GameStop in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got that.
I mean-
fucking game. That's a good fuck you. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's.
I just thought of a good one.
I don't want to go back just for a second. You were talking about we brought up Fallout a minute ago, right? You're looking forward to Wasteland? Was it Wasteland 2 that they're making?
Well, they're doing like a
Oh,
reboot
yeah.
of
Wasteland
Wasteland
2.
the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, the Kickstarter.
Well,
one.
I'm looking forward to a lot of those
Yeah,
Kickstarter projects.
Wasteland
There's the
2.
Wasteland,
Oh,
and then
there's a new torment game?
Yeah, the spiritual
Oh, it's actually
successor to
supposed to-
Planescape Torment's coming out.
And the God, what is it called?
I know what you're
Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, I think.
Which is the spiritual successor to stuff like Baldur's Gate and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool CRPGs,
Yeah.
those old school Western RPGs like coming out soon. Although I heard that Dead State was one, but kind of set in a zombie universe. I
that'd
heard
be
that
cool.
one kind of sucked.
Really?
So
Well, I mean, there's definitely old ones that suck too, but I think, if the same guys who made these ones that I really loved back in the day, like Baldur's Gate 2 and
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate 1 Fallout, like if these guys, or Planescape Torment, if these guys are making new ones with updated graphics, that's all I really wanted.
yeah, but they're not the same guys. I mean, the ones
They're
the guys that are doing Wasteland 2 are the same guys that are doing the new Torment game as well.
Uh-huh.
Those that's In Exile.
I know it's not
Who-
exactly the same.
And I know some of those people. NXL was formed by those same guys that
Yeah.
made those older games, but like the actual like the last real game that I think NXL shipped before they started getting into this Kickstarter business was, oh my god,
Was it the Hell one?
the Gears of the Spears of War. They called it
Spears of
Spears
War.
of
the one that was like Gears of War, but you're like an elf and a warrior.
And it was called Spears of War?
No.
Shut up.
Hunted the Demon Forest.
Oh,
So
yeah,
who
like that
fucking knows?
co-op
Who fucking
action
knows
RPG.
if they still got it? You know what I mean? We'll see. I mean,
I
that's
hope so.
Spears of War.
that's definitely more along the lines.
For a
of
second,
what
I
they
thought
were
there was
good at,
actually a
but
game called
Spears of War. There should be a game called Spears of War.
That's what people called it because that was funny.
Because it
What
was
else?
funny.
I've been playing Inquisitor. It's this kind of Fallout style game.
Is
Set in
is
the,
it the 40K
Crusades.
universe?
What?
Oh no! I'm thinking
Yeah, it's
something
set
else.
during the
I'm thinking something
Crusades.
else.
What?
Some from GOG.
Yeah, something from GOG. I mean, it's like a contemporary game, but it's
hmm
built with that kind of same style.
What's it
It's
called? Inquisitor?
Inquisitor.
I've never heard
pretty
of
good.
that one.
It's pretty dialogue heavy and
Yeah.
a lot of. It reminds me of the old school stuff. So
So lots of GOG stuff.
yeah, lots of GOG
That's
stuff.
what GOG's good for. People that don't
Yeah.
have PS3s anymore, sadly,
Exactly.
and just really old laptops.
Mhm.
you can run a lot of good old games on really old, crappy laptops.
Whoa.
And I'm thankful to GOG for that. Aren't they the same guys who...
Thank
Praise
God.
GOG.
Thank GOG.
Oh man.
GOG almighty.
And GOG we praise.
Think you
Aren't
may
they the
have
same
just named
guys
the show.
who are behind CD Projekt? Doesn't CD Projekt Red like run GOG?
Yeah, some of those
Really?
same
Yeah, yeah,
guys.
some of those same
no,
guys.
I think it is the same.
No
Like,
way.
I read something along those lines. Can somebody in chat find that out? Whether or not GOG.com is owned by the same people as CG Projekt Red. If that's true,
yeah, I think that
Then-
it's the same parent company or something, maybe.
them being like so badass would make sense considering, you know,
Considering how badass CD Projekt Red is.
exactly with their free updates for The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2 and
Yeah.
like constantly upgrading their game to make it better and all for free, you know?
Exactly.
And so them just being behind GOG would be
Oh my god.
makes
Is
a
The
lot of
Witcher
sense.
3 really coming out this year?
Witcher 3.
Hopefully.
Ah, that's one I want to play.
God.
GOG.
Oh, God.
Oh, GOG. And actually, I think it is coming out on GOG.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
GOG.
Witcher 2 launched on GOG.
Exactly.
Oh, GOG.
Oh.
GOG.
Oh my god. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this segment, and we'll come back in a second. There's not gonna be a community segment this week. Nolan's out, and we have a few extra news topics to talk about this week. So we will return to that next week when Nolan's on. But we have some news regarding Microsoft and the Xbox One. We have Ground Zero's news, which is going to kind of build off of the conversation we had a few weeks ago, and a few topics revolving around Twitch, which obviously, as major broadcasters on Twitch, we want to talk about. So stick with us. We'll be back in just a second.
It's like the last of us.
That's all I got.
All right.
Bibbidi
That's-
Bibbidi is my favorite song.
I got it all recorded. I'm so glad that you brought the show back in like that. That was amazing. I did not know you had such musical talent, Crispy.
Oh,
Crispy?
you know, I only did 95% of the work.
I would like to thank Mike for serenading us once again during the break.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Our own rock star.
Yeah, I felt like we jammed right
Dude,
there.
that was awesome. We're
That was-
closer.
yeah.
Our relationship status
That's
has
what
gone
music
up.
does, man.
Yeah.
Brings people together.
Y'all just leveled up.
Leveled up.
Yeah.
Now, if we're fighting next to each other on the field, we'll both do better.
Stat boosts all around.
Yeah, stat boost.
All
That's
right.
my job. I'm here to give people stat boosts.
You know what got me a stat boost this week?
What's that?
Microsoft announcing that sweet Xbox One bundle.
What? Oh my god, you totally twisted this around into a news story.
Oh
Oh,
my
you're-
god, I did.
You're a good host. Nick.
Although
What
I
is,
had
what
to-
is the bundle?
I had to kind of lie. So,
It's
it's no. In Europe, it's a price cut.
okay,
And a bundle?
but it's kind of a price cut over here.
Just tell me what it is over
It's
here.
it's a console,
what are
a
y'all talking
copy.
about?
It's the Xbox One bundle.
Oh.
So they're doing.
They're losing so bad that they've decided that they're gonna
Wow.
they're gonna bundle it with Titanfall in America.
And it doesn't also come with like a year of Xbox Gold.
But how much is it?
Same
It's
price.
the same price. It's $500.
Dude, they're get. Wait.
It's $500 for the console, a copy of Titanfall, and I thought a year of.
You might be
Gold.
right. I don't remember the details.
Damn.
Except
They're
here's the
desperate.
problem.
That is desperate.
Here is the problem. Well, not really a problem. Some people are gonna dig it.
You gotta remember,
I'm
Titanfall
still-
already paid
It's a
EA
digital-
a ton of money to
Yeah.
get Titanfall exclusive. Now they're giving it away with the Xbox.
They want to
Titanfall
sell.
is
They
a
have to sell
Xbox
units, man.
exclusive? I didn't...
Well, it's like a Microsoft exclusive.
Microsoft
'Cause it's also
exclusive.
on PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're giving it away as a download with the console, which sucks because I'm picking up my Xbox One in
That
March.
doesn't suck.
It doesn't. I mean, it
It's an
doesn't.
online only game. Who cares?
Well, I do. I'm not.
Yeah, but-
I still am of the persuasion that I would prefer to own the physical disc, and as a result, I'm going to still buy an Xbox and Titanfall separately.
That is insane.
It's not insane.
But just buy the disc down the road or something when it's cheap.
Okay, sure, maybe. I'm
saying like the game will eventually be cheap.
But how about this? Wasn't there something about like the Xbox like installs and downloads taking
fucking forever?
a really long time?
When we were doing the Xbox One launch event and we had to install
You're not gonna have to download it. It's
Dead
gonna
Rising.
It's gonna come
or-
preloaded on the Xbox.
we had to install Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox.
It's gonna come preloaded on the Xbox.
No,
do,
it's
well, do you know
not.
that?
It's not.
It's a bundle.
You know it's not. They're gonna
I
put
thought
in
bundles come with extra
they're
discs.
gonna put in a little fucking card with a QR code. And you're gonna go Xbox, enter code, and like scan it.
You're probably right. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's why would they put it on the system? That's an extra step that they have to do.
What if someone just has like bandwidth limitations? They're just fucked because they can't download their game.
Go live in a big
Yes.
city because Microsoft.
Problem.
So in Europe, it's a price cut though. They're dropping it by $100 and throwing in Titanfall.
$100.
Is it $100?
That can't be right.
What?
That's what I read.
Titanfall.
Am I wrong?
Wait, they're
on that?
gonna sell the Xbox for 400
And throw in
euros or
Titanfall.
whatever.
Maybe they didn't throw in
Euros.
Titanfall. Maybe it's just a price cut in Europe.
And they're
throw-
just
There's a
highly-
price cut already for the Xbox One in Europe. What are you talking about?
At the same time, this is all one decision. This is all one big push by them. They're going to drop the price in Europe and bundle it with Titanfall in America. Maybe I was getting overzealous when I assumed they were throwing in Titanfall with the price cut. That would be kind of ridiculous.
I gotta be honest with you. Why?
Meanwhile, the PS3 is still $399, right?
Yeah, but why? This. So this is like Xbox's
PS4.
big game, right?
Well, at the moment, yeah.
But this. This isn't the game. I feel like this isn't the game to do it with, because you want to have an actual like my Xbox. You could still play it on 360 and PC though.
True.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
First of
I mean,
all-
I think at this point, I think a lot of people haven't been buying the Xbox because Titanfall hasn't been out. I think this is just kind of a roundabout way of like moving units and making sure that the game sells, because
know-
they didn't get the big like consumer push that they were expecting through the
I want to know
holidays.
realistically how the Xbox 360 version of Titanfall is even going to hold up in comparison to PC and Xbox One.
I mean,
It's
not,
being
it's not gonna
developed
be
by
as
a different.
good,
It's being
but
developed by an entirely different team.
There's way more fucking 360s out there. I guarantee you that like the best fucking seller for Titanfall is gonna be 360.
No, but like Microsoft is definitely using Titanfall as a Xbox One pusher. I bet over the next 2 weeks, you go to any GameStop in this city, they'll all have at least 20, that dozen to 20 Xbox Ones apiece, and still no PS4s. I mean, I'm sure. I think they're probably shipping out even more units now because they're anticipating a bunch of people to be running out to buy Xbox Ones specifically for Titanfall.
You work at an undisclosed video game retailer, correct?
Maybe.
Yeah. Would you say
Back to
that?
this again.
So maybe, just in your opinion, do you think that like how are pre-orders doing for the 360 version? No. Man, I wonder if
but
I
at
feel
the
like
same
maybe
time,
Microsoft and EA are trying to even hide the
But at the
fact
same
that it's
time,
even coming
if
to
this
360.
if this game is kind of courting the Call of Duty crowd or whatever, like
They're gonna
that's a
find out
huge
later.
that's a huge crapshoot. Like there will always be people who are like, "Ooh, new Call of Duty's coming out. I'm gonna run and reserve it." But you're gonna get twice as many people who are just like, "Oh, I just heard that they came out with a new Call of Duty last week. I'm gonna go buy that." Like these
Yeah.
aren't people who are necessarily like
This is gonna be a-
waiting for Titanfall to come out. It's something that they're gonna see a buddy play
Yeah.
and go buy later.
I just feel like there's so many 360s out there. There's a lot of people. I mean, I hope it's a good port for the sake of those people.
Here's a
because-
question I have: Is even bothering to put Titanfall on the Xbox 360 possibly going to hurt sales of Titanfall? Because if that
hurt
version,
sales of
no, I'm just
Titanfall or
just let
Xboxes?
me air it out. Here we go.
You're getting at
Get it all out.
people won't upgrade because they already have a
No.
machine that'll play it.
If the 360 version is inferior, and in fact, not even, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's so dumbed down that it's not even.
Do we
Like,
know?
I don't think EA would let
We
that
don't
release.
know.
Well, do we know who's handling the port for the 360?
Well, it's not Respawn.
It's Bluepoint, the guys that do all the HD now, albeit they do the good HD collections that we've seen, Shadow of the Colossus and Eco for one,
nice.
one they did.
Okay.
They're handling the port. But I mean, the thing is, it is a game that is designed to be run on high-end PCs and next-gen consoles. If the game does have to be dumbed down to work on the 360, if there are so many copies of that floating out there and people are more likely to see that version of the game rather than the true version of the game, like the Xbox One or PC, who's to say they decide, oh, I don't really want to play this. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if you see the Xbox 360 version and that's the version that you associate with Titanfall, and it doesn't drive you out to the store to go pick up.
No one's gonna see that version because they're not gonna let anybody see that version. They're gonna see the Xbox One version and they're gonna go, I'm gonna go buy that for 360.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be as much an issue because I still think, like Brad's saying, there's just a widespread ignorance to the fact that there even is a 360 version to begin with.
I didn't know there was a 360 version.
Yeah, exactly.
They have not. They
don't mention it. They throw the Xbox One banner around all the time when they're talking about Titanfall, but they barely mention PC and they do not mention 360.
There definitely wasn't a beta for the.
First of all,
have y'all played it? Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
It's
cool.
a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Titanfall is like, it's not like the most remarkable looking next gen game. It runs really fast, smooth, 60 frames a second. But they say that they're gonna half the frame rate down to 30 and then lower the resolution, of course. Like, it could still look okay. Like given that those limitations.
I'm not necessarily worried about visuals.
Still,
I'm worried about
I'm
features.
saying like I'm thinking this will still have a pretty significant online presence on 360. Eventually, like you said, that mainstream Call of Duty crowd that hasn't run out to buy an Xbox One or PS4 right away, they'll eventually hear about this game and they're going to run out and buy the 360 version.
Sure. I'm not questioning the visual fidelity of the 360 version. Right. I mean, it's not going to look as good.
Are they all going to interact together?
But
360
no, they're not.
Xbox One and
I was just more worried about the scale of the game being as it is. Are there going to be entire features or mechanics from the next gen versions that are completely removed,
like cut out
and not featured in?
I don't know. You mean like, are you talking about like actual like gameplay stuff, like game modes and things like that, or kind of more like integration and like multiplayer?
Maybe like smaller maps, or like when Battlefield 3 came out, they had smaller versions of the maps on PS3 and 360.
Yeah, but see, Titanfall maps are already a lot smaller.
They're not.
Battlefield was
like
64 on 64 player matches. Of course they scaled that down for the smaller consoles, but these, I don't know. I feel.
It's just I
who
feel
knows?
like
Who knows with this one?
I feel like the 360 version just even existing is just kind of a wild. I don't know how it's making it hard to predict how Titanfall is going to play out.
But the fact that it exists, period, is going to be good enough for people. Like this was an EA decision to make the 360 one, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, imagine if this game was only available on Xbox One.
That would sell Xboxes a lot more than I think it is going to. It's still going to sell. I mean, I think in the month of March, Xbox One is going to, in North America, it's going to outsell PS4 because of Titanfall.
Oh yeah,
that would not be surprising at all. But I'm thinking that Xbox Ones would sell better if this 360 version didn't exist at all. And I think that the 360 version being delayed, or it actually is being delayed, but I think it being delayed was probably Microsoft saying, hey, delay this version of this game.
Yeah.
Because we want to sell some Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that conversation happened. Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. Because take Call of Duty Ghosts, which was on 360 and PS3.
Yeah. And PS4.
And PS4 and Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
It was on everything, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But like Call of Duty Ghosts, usually Call of Duty is the one game that pushes the 360 ahead of the PS3 almost every single November, right?
Right.
That is the system seller for 360. That pushes 360 sales over way over PS3.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Call of Duty machine. But last November, even though Call of Duty came out for everything, like the Xbox wasn't ahead of PlayStation. And I feel like it's because a lot of those Call of Duty fans just bought it on 360. And that could happen with Titanfall. I mean, Call of Duty Ghosts was designed, you remember, for next-gen hardware. But, it's still... People get into an online match on the 360 version. I'm sure they still had a good time.
It could also be that people were making their decision about which next-gen system they were going to buy first, and more of them just picked PS4.
I mean, that's... have Xbox Ones?
What?
Not in this room.
No.
Chris Davis has one. Jeff has one. I'm probably going to pick mine up for Titanfall.
Yeah,
but see,
next month.
Yeah.
I mean...
I don't ever want one.
Like, there has to be...
It's a hard sell.
There has to be several Xbox One exclusives that I want to play that I can't play anywhere else.
Right,
Titanfall, I could just play on my PC.
Yeah.
So, maybe if that Remedy game is amazing and like a few other things are like Sunset Overdrive, maybe that's amazing. Maybe, in a year or so, and that price gets cut, which I'm assuming it will eventually since they're pretty behind.
How far behind are they?
Well,
I mean, it's been
last month it was 2-1. Like PS4 in January sold twice as much.
It's going to be worse this month because they just launched the PS4 in Japan like on Friday or something.
The thing is, in the same
Worldwide,
month that Titanfall comes out, though, which theoretically and in all likelihood enhances the attractiveness of the Xbox One. PS4 is getting a new exclusive in the form of Infamous.
Yeah,
which
but
is not gonna,
Infamous is no fucking Titanfall.
I mean, it's not going to hold the same weight as Titanfall, but at the same time that
But
Xbox One is getting its first huge major exclusive that's a system seller.
Also,
and at the same time, PS4 is like, okay, well, we also have a new exclusive coming out this month in addition to the ones we already have.
not just Infamous, but Metal Gear. And even though Metal Gear's on both, Metal Gear pushes Sony hardware.
Yep.
Because that series is traditionally attributed to Sony hardware.
Metal Gear and Infamous versus Titanfall pushing Xbox One.
I mean, I still think Xbox One's going to do better, but you got to understand, the fact that in January in North America, that Xbox sold, PlayStation sold twice as much as Xbox. That's a bad sign for Xbox because that's North America.
That's their home.
Yeah, that's
where they always sell the most systems.
Exactly. And last generation, PlayStation and other parts of the world would always outsell Xbox, with the exception of North America and the UK. But now PlayStation is outselling, stomping all over Xbox in North America and UK. And I imagine everywhere else in the Europe, Xbox One is getting horribly stomped. And now PlayStation's out in Japan. Worldwide, Microsoft is really behind. So if fucking Titanfall doesn't really, really hit big, then, you're going to see probably a much more significant price drop than just... I mean, that's when you start seeing the decisions like, Kinect is out the box, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If they can remove the Kinect, make a version of... or release a version of the Xbox without Kinect and get the price down below Sony's, then you're going to see... With Titanfall, you're going to start seeing Xbox One outselling PlayStation in North America and in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's going to kind of go back to how it was last generation. But they can do that. Just if they get rid of the Kinect, remember the hardware that's in their box is cheaper than Sony's because it's lesser hardware.
Yeah, it's the camera
it's the camera that's driving up that price. They could if they get rid of the Kinect and get it down to $369 or something like that. People are gonna. Price is a big deal here. That's why Sony's doing so well.
Yep.
You know what other console exclusive that Sony's got that Xbox doesn't is The Last Guardian.
Yeah, well,
way to slide that one in there.
If that
Sony first party is always.
vaporware.
Well, this is maybe a pretty good transition to a news topic that I don't know if we were planning to talk about, but they announced that Persona 5 is they said it's coming out to North America and it's coming out next year.
4 or 5 Persona games coming over.
But those are Persona 4.
Yeah, but the actual mainline Persona 5 one, they said is coming to PS3 in North America or in the West next year. But there's no Xbox SKU. Which, Atlas, Sega, they're a third party.
But has Persona
company.
ever been on anything other than Sony hardware?
Well, the new Persona game is coming to 3DS, Persona is not a Sony only brand.
But
Shin Megami Tensei stuff was on fucking Super Nintendos and shit back in the day. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that it could have been. Like, why is it not on the 360?
I don't know. It's a good question.
But this is, like, remember my argument for, like, ultimately why I was going to go PS4 over Xbox? It's because I know eventually stuff like this is going to happen. A game like Persona, which is a pretty big JRPG in terms of, like, you know, JRPG fans, it's, like, huge, right? But it's not coming to 360 in the West.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it's not going to sell well enough to warrant that. It's because you know, Xbox is nothing in Japan. It's nothing.
They stopped selling them.
And Persona, first and foremost, is a game designed for a Japanese audience. It does well in the West, but it does huge in Japan.
Yeah.
So because Xbox is like a nothing there, they're not even going to bother porting into 360, even though they might sell some copies in the West. And games like that is what makes me, you know, worried about, you know, the future for like third party exclusives. Or
Someone, Delago in chat just brought up
Third
Catherine. Why did they bother making a 360 version of Catherine then?
Well, I mean, Catherine, I guess, was...
I mean, that game was very much aimed at a Japanese audience.
Yeah, I think so. But I feel like there's been kind of a shift. And like late in the last generation, like in late in the PS3 360 stuff, you're starting to see a lot of Japanese games that they aren't even bothering putting on Xbox. And this might even have to do with, you know, Microsoft's lack of commitment for the new hardware in Japan at all.
Yeah.
You know, like they kind of gave up on the 360 and they're not even trying this time. Like, do we even know when the Xbox One's coming out in Japan?
Oh, it's not already out in Japan?
I thought it was already out.
No, it's not out in Japan. I don't even think we know when it's coming out in Japan.
And nobody in Japan cares.
Does anybody in chat know when the
but
360 one comes out in Japan?
They stopped selling 360s in Japan, didn't they? Didn't
Well,
they,
I mean, I
pull
think
them
you can
from the
still go
market?
out and buy one, but I mean, I'm saying like Microsoft's push of it is just non-existent.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. There's no like new shipments of Xboxes over there. I don't think. You know, they're just out on shelves. What's
Sounds
left?
like Sony's dominating.
They are
Which-
a little bit, yeah.
You know,
Not even really a little bit. They are, but
maybe that Kinect killed them with having to bundle that
Well,
camera.
that's-
No, well, yeah, you're absolutely right. If Xbox,
it's a weight they tied around their own necks, and it's
Yeah.
gonna drown them.
I mean, if an Xbox was also $399, we wouldn't be having these issues. Like I think in North America and in the UK at the very least, which are huge markets, I think Microsoft would be winning, or at least neck and neck.
Mhm.
You know, it's definitely the price. But I mean, Titanfall could legitimately change things around. But I think it's telling that you're seeing already. I mean, because there's a lot of 360s out there in the world, and that they're not going to bother with such a huge JRPG on 360 hardware. That's scary. You know, that's one of the reasons why, at this point, I would never pick, you know, Western hardware over Japanese hardware, because you know there's going to be certain Japanese games that are just not going to come. Like, third-party exclusives don't exist from Western developers anymore. You know what I mean? Not really, unless they're paid a lot of money by like Microsoft or Sony, right?
yeah.
But Microsoft's not going to spend a lot of money on a Japanese exclusive anymore. Didn't work for them last time. They're going to give up on that. Sony doesn't even have to spend money to keep Japanese third-party exclusives only on Sony. That's just where they're going to put that out, because that's what's going to be out in Japan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're actually going to see more. If you look at third-party exclusives last generation, most of them were actually Japanese games.
Yeah.
So this goes all back to kind of why I chose the PS4 over the Xbox, but it's telling. It's telling that Persona wouldn't also come to Xbox, and it might have something to do with the sales of Catherine on Xbox.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
The game did horribly, or what?
Yeah, I think it did horribly, kind of everywhere, but
Yeah, it's not.
it probably did well in Japan, and if it did well in Japan, then it was only did well on Sony's platform.
Yeah, that might have been the litmus test for Persona in the West, and then just didn't make the cut on Xbox. So let's shift for a second. I want to talk about So obviously we talked about Twitch Plays Pokemon. Mike, have you been keeping up with Twitch Plays Pokemon, or do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I've been looking in every so often.
What we have new news on this?
No, but it's in.
Aren't they like level 38?
They have 7 badges, I think.
Jesus Christ.
I don't
I
know.
heard they
Do
call
you
it-
think somebody's writing a program to like game the 20 votes? Isn't there like every 20 vote? How does that work? Like,
I don't know.
I
The democracy
the-
thing.
yeah, the democracy.
I heard
So,
they-
I figured out what that was. Like last week, I didn't really understand what that meant, but apparently there's a whole system where if democracy's winning, then they vote on actions versus take every single one. Kind of.
All right, so I didn't really want to talk about Twitch Plays Pokemon, but in related news, there is a game that's launching. Is it in March or April? I think it's
April.
Daylight, which is a procedurally generated horror game that we actually played at PAX East and Prime 2, I think, last year. That has you kind of exploring this like dilapidated hospital. At least that's the environment we saw, and it's the rooms and everything is generated each time you play the game, so it's random. It's different every time you play, and they're going to be, for the launch of this game on Twitch, they're going to be implementing a similar mode or a similar interaction between chat.
Chat is going to be able to trigger like scares and stuff in the game via chat interactions.
Wait, like, is this just like an event for the launch, or is this like
don't
an
know.
actual
Well,
integrated
I'm
feature
guessing,
in the game?
I'm guessing
like,
the code is
like
got to
if
be
you're
programmed in there.
broadcasting it, you can
I'm
turn this
get-
on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's got to be programmed in there, so why wouldn't it just always be on or always be available as an option?
I don't know. It's going
That
to be.
is, by the way, that is brilliant fucking marketing. That is reaching an audience that a lot of other publishers I feel like are still kind of oblivious to, and that's the rise of like of like video game streams and let's plays and stuff. That's like a huge audience that indies are appealing to and getting really big.
Think about this. On the
This is
tail
brilliant.
end of Twitch Plays Pokemon, which has upwards of 100,000 people watching at some times, an indie developer who's making this little indie horror game is putting a game out there that is going to draw the attention of people who may be getting tired of playing Pokemon on Twitch. But like, how many people are going to be like, oh, a horror game that I can interact with this exact same way are going to just suddenly shift and go over to these feeds, and like all of a sudden the exposure for that one game is going to be ridiculous, especially for an indie game.
Yeah.
An indie horror game at that.
It was whoever came up with that idea at Zombie Studios or whatever is brilliant.
Is a goddamn brilliant,
Goddamn genius.
goddamn genius. I'm sorry, goddamn genius.
So,
Goddamn
supposedly
genius.
there was supposedly some integration with like the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition in Twitch as well. I heard something about
I don't know about that. So, people who watch us, because we're obviously inevitably going to be playing Daylight on our stream,
it looks really
people
good.
will be able to scare you, Brad.
Is
How
that
do you feel about
like,
that?
I'm confused. Is
Yes,
that how it works?
yes.
Like, so while you're playing, the people watching you can just be like, "Oh, jump scare!" Like,
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be some limitations to it. It's not going to be like Twitch plays
like,
Pokemon.
like every half a second, it's just like,
That would kind of ruin its effect. But
Brad's gonna get
and
desensitized.
then you're just like, it's done.
You gotta be some kind of timer or something that resets.
Yeah.
Or...
but I don't know. People
But is it going to
enjoy
tell
that.
you who put the command in that scared you?
And what kind of scare is it? Is it like,
sounds in the environment, stuff like that?
is it gonna have 3D sound or?
Well, yeah.
Because have you heard those things on YouTube where it shows what it's like to be in some kind of like interrogation room and it has 3D sound and it sounds like somebody's walking around you torturing some guy right next to you?
Jesus.
It's pretty intense. They have like a little previews of what it's like to have schizophrenia, and you put it on like that's kind of stuff scares the shit out of me, because when you start hearing things and your own brain turns against you, like there's nothing you can do. You can't run. You can run away from a ghost or move like to a different house or do some crazy.
Can
shit.
you run away from a ghost?
Unless it follows you.
Paranormal Activity has taught us that that's not possible.
That wasn't a ghost, Brad.
Yeah, dude, it was a demon.
Insidious has taught us
It was
that
a
that's
demon
not possible.
curse.
Do you have a ghost following you, Brad? Have you ever had an encounter with a ghost?
I don't like to talk about
Have you ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
Oh man, rest in peace,
Oh
Harold
my
Ramis.
god. I don't want to talk
Ramis.
about it.
Oh man, Egon's dead.
My favorite Ghostbuster. And second favorite character in Stripes.
That's a directed Groundhog's Day.
My favorite director of Groundhog's Day.
Or Groundhog Day.
Which is a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Phil? Hey, Phil? It's me, Ned Ryerson! I love that scene.
Ned Ryerson. Come here.
Ned Ryerson got the shingles real bad.
How long did he live in that day? It was
I
like
think,
10
like
years,
when they,
right?
well, I think in the original script they said it was supposed to be like 10 years or something like that. But somebody went back and actually like calculated how long he would have had to have been doing that to be able to learn how to like play piano and carve ice and like all that stuff. And they came out to like something. No, the original version of the script said like 10,000 years. And
Yeah.
I think like in the actual calculated one, they said it was like, it must have been like 2,000 or 3,000 years or
What?
something like that.
What?
Of just him reliving the same day over and over again.
3,000.
No wonder he was suicidal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, that's the point. Like he could have spent hundreds and hundreds of years just killing himself every day. Like,
And then he goes,
like that is that movie.
how do you go back to real life after that, though? Like when
You
it-
don't.
You know, like once you have the experience.
No, but he woke up next to what's her face who had that terrible southern accent.
Wouldn't that
Andy
that
McDowell.
might drive you mad if it's no longer the same day after something you've experienced the same for thousands? I don't know.
Oh man, the shock that your brain.
I
would
don't
have
remember.
experienced.
You have to look it up. Like
That
somebody
many
actually.
years, he could have wooed every woman on the planet.
Somebody,
Well, he only has a
Well,
day.
he couldn't. Remember, he couldn't like get anytime he tried to leave the town. Like he couldn't leave. There was like traffic
There's
jams, and shit
snowstorm
like that.
and like
Yeah.
all sorts of.
I mean, even
he
if he
was
did, he would be limited to as far as he could make it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I bet he tried gay sex.
It's weird.
This just took a
That's a
weird
very
turn.
that's a very interesting thing to say.
You know,
about it.
I'm
Did you
interested
harbor
that you
some
went with that.
secret
There's
kind of things you want to try out.
there are a million
okay.
other things you
It's
could
okay.
have went with there.
Well, this is off topic.
We're already
yeah,
off.
I was
topic.
thinking about this.
Did I make an overlay for this?
This is off topic from
I don't-
off-topic
I don't
discussion.
want to upset anyone, but I feel like it's something that you can assume is probably have happened, and that like the gay community should be very proud of, and that's that. I bet that the first gay sexual experience in space, I mean, the first sexual experience in space was probably a gay one.
You think it's happened?
I think
You think,
odds are.
like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Like,
Don't you think
No,
they'd
no,
have been a little busy to
they were
engage
only in a
with you?
capsule for 3 days? Why did they turn?
I mean, that'd be pretty.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That would be pretty-
No. Think about it. Sure, yes, they're very busy people, right?
Especially
right?
when you're in space.
Right?
Everyone
No,
knows that
try not to
astronauts are busy
die.
people.
Listen. When
orbiting
did,
around the world.
when did they first?
I want no part of this conversation.
How many dudes?
Hey,
did they-
Buzz, you just want to do it?
Listen to me. I have an
I'm kinda
explanation. I have an explanation. I'm not saying anything about Buzz Aldrin or fucking Neil Armstrong. Listen to me.
Which astronaut are you saying?
How
huh?
many guys did they send up into space before they started sending up women regularly? Right? Probably a lot more guys, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
I mean,
about-
if they're
about
not
space.
sending women, then yeah, they're sending
What?
guys.
Okay, so listen to me. If you went up into space, if I went up into space, the thing that would be on my mind is like, dude, what can I do to be the first person in space to do this thing? Like, imagine, and there was
Like,
somebody out there,
You want to join the 7 Mile Club
just like,
or
dude,
14 Mile Club?
I would be like, dude, I want to be
join
the
the
first.
Lagrange Point Club.
Listen to me. You go up into space, you're like, dude, I want to be the first guy to get a blowjob in space. That's just cool. If I was in space, I'd want to be the first at everything.
Dude, fuck that. If somebody has gotten a blowjob in space already, they would be telling people.
Yeah, I
about
was about to
it.
say.
We would have heard about it.
You would have once.
It might not have been at like some NASA press conference where they're like, Commander Rip Stevens was the first man to
No, that's
experience
the thing. That's the thing.
fellatio
According-
outside of
No,
Earth's
no.
atmosphere.
The thing is, according to NASA, there's been no reported. There's been no sexual encounters in
This
space.
is something
and that's
we've talked
bullshit,
about.
though. Do you believe that? I don't believe it.
I'm gonna go ahead and believe it.
There are cameras everywhere in space. Stations. Dude, right? Chai Tai brings up a good point. Like, there's no gravity. What happens when... what happens when you...
I'm just saying, if it happened, it's a good chance.
I'm 12, and what is this?
Chai Tai's comment just nailed it. Okay, can we get back on topic?
I'm just saying.
What's the point?
There's some truth to this.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Chai Tai for gifting me Year Walk.
Oh, nice.
Yes. He also gave me a copy of Device 6, which I started playing
Yeah.
today.
So Chai
Or
Tai,
reading, or I don't
Thank
know
you
what
so
that
much.
is. Like,
Oh god. Oh, what?
what happened?
Brad, that was ridiculous.
Why am I playing the kazoo?
I bet there's some truth to it, though.
I think the people in space would be far too busy to
You,
engage.
you say that, but they float up there
Have
for
you-
a while.
Have you been in people on the space station? There's usually only one person on the space station, right?
Will you at least concede
No.
that somebody's jerked off in space?
No. Yes.
Really?
No, wait, you think? No, they have to. If they spend like 2 years on the space station,
Do they have to?
like the blue balls alone would just be unbearable, right?
Maybe.
Yes.
Do you think they use like a washcloth or something?
No, we're not having this conversation.
Okay. Or the little tube that they pee in. I don't know. Anyway,
Someone
what
has
else
to
is
think
going
about
on
these
in the
things.
world of video gaming?
Oh man.
Somebody has to think
Hey.
about these things.
Oh wait.
Hi, go away! No!
I didn't mean to do that, but
Hi, go away!
I just
Hi.
wanted to point out
Go.
that they got to keep in orbit some way, so propulsion.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Hi, go away.
Oh god.
Hi.
Hide.
That's over here.
We're recording. Hi, go away.
He does not
Yeah.
understand.
Out.
The Hide's our live studio
Ow.
audience.
Oh my god. This
Do you think
podcast
they
is
cover
over.
it?
You know, this podcast is over.
This
Yeah.
podcast is
It's
over.
done.
I'm
I
done.
just-
It's time for
wanna-
new release Tuesday.
I just want to know if they cover that in
I'm
the
actually
briefings.
hungry. You guys want to get some?
Sausage.
Oh my god. Okay.
Sausage.
Okay. Back on topic. Back on topic. Hey
Jeez,
guys,
can I-
let's go back to Twitch and Titanfall for a second. How's that?
Wait. Titanfall.
Twitch and Titanfall.
No.
I don't.
Twitch is coming to Xbox One on the same day as Titanfall's launch.
Sorry.
Are you serious, Brad? Twitch, Titanfall, Brad.
What about
It
it?
affects us
Yeah. Of
as
course it does.
as streamers on Twitch.
Twitch is finally launching on Xbox, which is great, but it's also launching on the day Titanfall comes out, which is also the launch day for Dark Souls 2,
What
which
did
means
you-
we might not be streaming Dark Souls 2
No, screw that. Stream Dark Souls 2.
on launch day.
Go fuck
Dark
yourself, Chris. Go
Souls.
fuck yourself. He's laughing like that's some kind of good thing.
Let's take a vote right now. Dark Souls 2
Woo!
or Titanfall? Dark Souls.
Wait.
How about Dark
Think about
Souls?
it.
Praise the
Dark
sun, bro.
Souls.
Praise the
Praise
sun.
Dark
Wait.
Souls.
Think about it this way, though. Think about it this way.
Nick's for Dark Souls. Look,
Dark Souls.
Yeah, he's got his hands up. Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls.
Yes, I'm all for Dark Souls. If everybody else is broadcasting Titanfall, imagine our numbers. If we're the only ones
Everyone's gonna
broadcasting
Imagine
Dark
how
Souls.
badass a game Dark Souls 2 is. That's what you should imagine. That game is going to be awesome. Twitch.
you
not
know what's
Twitch,
actually
um,
launching also that day?
What?
On PS4 and PC is Towerfall.
Oh, the Ouya game?
Yeah. Which I hear is amazing.
The samurai gun, but with bows and arrows.
Yeah, and it's like with way more modes and stuff too.
Dude, I want to play that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
who's going to be playing Dark Souls 2?
we haven't
Right here.
probably Crispy
Right
or
here.
Brad and
Right
Are
here,
you
motherfucker.
going to go dual wielding? I heard they actually upgraded dual wielding combat towards more.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're doing like it's
The
actually.
apparently the like they have that dual wielder class now, like
Yeah.
the dual swordsman, and apparently instead of like
Those aren't
he
real
has
classes.
no block command whatsoever now. He has
Does he? Can he parry?
no, it's something else. Like they replaced blocking on that character. Like so, no matter what you have, he doesn't block.
Is there any way to like?
I think it's like a flipper or something.
It's a
like
dodge
that.
roll. Like
I don't know.
As long as there's a way you
somebody
can
who
get away
knows what they're
without taking
talking
damage.
about, help me.
Those job classes aren't job classes in the game. Those are just
No, yeah. You're right.
Well,
just the dual wielding doesn't
They're
have
not.
a
They're
block
not
anymore
doing
or something
classes
like
this
that.
time, are they? They're
No.
kind
the
of just
dual
doing
wielding
like
block
a
thing was kind of
freeform.
useless. Like you just pulled up your sword. Where it was at was the parry. Like you
But
had,
the point, I guess the point there then is that you can they have more options for replacing like basic character skill sets, like to more closely match the dual wielding option.
well, I'm interested to see how it works now. Considering, I mean, I went
Wait,
to the first one dual wielding. That was fun.
What's up?
No, you can dual wield shields.
Yeah, you
In
can.
Dark
I
Souls
did
2.
it the other day. It's stupid.
No, in Dark Souls 2, I think it's actually
You know,
works.
There's
You're just holding two shields.
You can you can give your knight 2 shields in Bravely Default as well.
Shield
I think-
Knight.
I love
Don't
that
hurt
game, by the
me.
way.
I think I
You
beat.
been playing?
I had the few opportunities that I've had to play games the past 5 or 6 days, I've been playing Bravely Default.
Nice.
And
What'd you
the
say,
game-
Oh
Mike?
yeah. In the name of Harmon brings up a good point. Is fists going to be an option now, like monk style?
I don't know.
Because I really think that's missing from a lot
don't
of
know.
games with like Dragon's Dogma. That game would have benefited from a badass monk class, or this game.
Well,
Dark
see,
Souls
the
2.
only thing is that like everything's kind of based on equipment, so they would have to. It couldn't be like
Your
a
fist
skill,
stuff, right?
It couldn't be like a skill that's like your melee combat or like your unarmed combat does extra damage. It would have to be like an actual physical like item set. Like it would have to be like gloves. Or,
Yeah,
like,
but they've had those before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's actually gloves. You
But,
can get
I
in
mean,
Dark
I
Souls
think-
But
one.
they just suck.
yeah, they just aren't any good.
Although after a while, you just use them just to.
Get that dark hand, bro. Steal humanity from people. I was doing that.
I
but
know.
Yeah,
but I
I'm never
decided
gonna
to
turn. I'm never gonna turn down a 5. Not from you.
Thanks, Chris. B.
Wait.
Love you, Mike.
So Titanfall comes out on the same day
Is Dark Souls 2.
as Towerfall?
And you're going to be playing Dark Souls. Wait, what's Towerfall?
Yeah, Titanfall, Towerfall, Dark Souls 2.
Are they banking on people getting confused?
Yeah.
Wait, I bought
It's a bad
Tower-
release day. Like, that's a really bad release day for Towerfall. They should try to move that.
Dude, March is looking like it's gonna be like a November.
Dano said there's no parrying or guarding while dual wielding, so I guess you can't.
Oh, is that what it
Parry
is?
anymore.
It's just when you equip 2 weapons, you can't parry.
That sucks.
But it combos differently. Like, you actually,
Well, I guess I
Because-
got to see how the combat works.
yeah, it's different now.
Because I know dual wielding.
Or it's more
Dark
like it
Souls
was in the
1,
first game or something like that.
Mm.
Like, yeah, you're really
Demon
good
Souls.
at parrying
Mm.
because you'd always take damage.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you got to be real quick.
You just dodge.
You could dodge, but I don't know, if you parried, you just learned the game. I don't know, like you get through area quicker if you can actually parry everything going on and just kill.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about, anyways?
Well, we were talking about Twitch coming out on Xbox the same day as Titanfall,
And
but I
then
guess
we talked about how 4PP is going to play, 4PN
Dark Souls.
is going to play
Dark
Dark Souls
Souls.
2 on the feed instead of Titanfall.
Oh, for
Exactly.
New Release Tuesday? I think for that New Release Tuesday, we should just play Towerfall. Fuck it.
Yes.
Fuck everyone else.
Do it.
Fuck it.
Let's just all get drunk and play Towerfall.
Oh man, that would be hilarious.
That would be
do
fun.
that. Let's do
Let's
that.
do
Do that.
Because I mean, God knows we're gonna be playing Titanfall and Dark Souls 2 all.
We're gonna make it
after
all
that.
the way
That's
to the
all
front
that's gonna be
page
on
of
the feed
Twitch.
for a month.
Like,
Oh, March is going to be crazy.
Dude, March is
It's
looking,
already crazy.
March is looking like November. It's kind of ridiculous.
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge.
I mean,
a
this
spider.
month has already been crazy.
That's funny.
Anyways, okay, so last thing I want to talk about news-wise is going to be, so a few weeks ago we talked about, obviously, we had a big discussion about Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, obviously.
The fifth one?
It's the prologue,
prelude.
so they're releasing in 2 chapters.
Prologue.
There's Phantom Pain, which is the Metal Gear Solid 5, and then next month they're releasing Ground Zeroes, which is like the prologue chapter to Phantom Pain.
So it's like a.
It's basically, so
They've been comparing
you play Metal Gear
it to
Solid
the-
2, right?
To the
Think of it as a tanker
the
level.
tanker.
They're selling it as its own standalone thing because
Okay.
Phantom Pain will be out for another year or so. So you'll be able to play Metal Gear Solid 5 next month. But there was a big controversy revolving around the value proposition of it because it came out that the game can allegedly be finished in like 2.5, 3 hours. And
Metal
they're
Gear Solid 5? Or
no, just the prologue
the
chapter.
prologue.
But they were charging either $40 for it or $30 depending on which platform you buy it on
Yeah.
and whether you do it download or buy the physical disc.
That. They must
Yeah,
be
so
out
if
of
you
their
want the PS
goddamn minds.
So if you want the PS4,
Goddamn minds.
if you want the PS4 version or Xbox One version of Ground Zeroes, you would have to pay $40 for it if you want to buy the disc. And then when Phantom Pain rolls around, you'll have to spend another $60 to get the full version. But I guess they came out yesterday and they announced that they're going to be dropping the price of the next gen retail versions from $40 to $30, which is a step. But yeah,
no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. They're listening to people complaining, calling this a demo,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not a demo. You know, the fucking tanker was part of Metal Gear Solid 2. This is a separate thing. This is not part of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. It's a separate thing. It was announced as a separate thing.
So it's like DLC
First thing we heard about
before
it.
the game comes out.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we don't
kind
even
of.
really know
Except-
what it
Are
is.
they using Metal Gear Solid 5 engine to make this like?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's its own open-ended thing. Like it's
So a way for you to get familiar with the combat.
So you've seen
like,
footage of Metal Gear Solid 5, right? How it takes place in like, it looks like it takes place in like Afghanistan, Iraq, that kind of thing.
That's
and
the
then this,
complex.
that's Metal Gear Solid 5, and then Phantom Pain takes place in this like island.
Wasn't it? For some reason, I had the idea that it was like in Cuba.
Maybe.
Hmm.
I could be wrong.
Well,
I don't know.
But it takes
Cuba.
place on a smaller but still open environment that's completely different from the environment you'll be spending your time in 5, with what I would imagine to be pretty much the full skill set you'll have, minus maybe some weapons and gadgets, whatever, in 5 at your disposal. There'll be a story that'll kind of set up the story for 5, so it'll have a beginning and end, and, obviously being a Metal Gear game, I mean, the controversy arose when people who were playing this at a review event said that they only had 4 hours of the game, and they spent that time playing all the way through the campaign, and people were like, whoa, you beat the game in that 4-hour time window?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we did that, and we had time to do some other side quest stuff. So people were like, what the hell? That's like, that's not a lot
That's
of game
$10
for 4 hours. But
$10 an hour.
but they didn't say how much of the game they actually completed,
Yeah.
entirely. And it's a Metal Gear game. Like we've all, when 2 came out, we all spent God only knows how much time playing that fucking demo.
You're gonna tell me you're only gonna spend 2 hours with anything related to Metal Gear? I call bullshit on that. Like this thing is gonna be.
So you're saying the replayability of it should make up for the cost.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, the first fucking room in that original Metal Gear Solid demo.
Yeah.
How much? How
Well,
often did you fuck around?
Why shouldn't they just release it as like just a prequel or a demo or like with Shadow of the Colossus
Because
came with a
one, this probably cost a lot of money to make, and 2, they're trying to make money to continue the development of Metal Gear Solid 5 proper.
Are they running into funding problems? I didn't know that.
I imagine Konami just barely keeps it together anymore. I mean, the only thing that ever made money for Konami was Metal Gear and their fucking soccer series. Winning 11 or
is
Pro
Hap-
Evolution or whatever. And their soccer series doesn't do as well anymore. Yeah, Metal Gear comes out too infrequently. Konami just doesn't have a lot going on, period.
Did Happy Maker just... Okay, so Happy Maker says in chat, that they said that they finished the amount of the game that they completed in that 4-hour window was 9%.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's what I'm saying. Like this is an open world, open-ended thing. There's probably a lot to do and fuck around with. Like, this is not just, start A to B, finish the demo. This is not a demo, it's a game.
Yeah.
So it's a game before the game.
It's a game. And
I
people
mean, how many Call of Duties have you spent $60 on and just played the campaign for 5 hours?
more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that, and that's not even like that's not like a very replayable thing, if you're not playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is well, I don't know. I guess let's just wait and see.
It's
on
another
this
one of those
Let's
weird
just wait
things.
And see. Well, I'm gonna buy it.
The point of the story is
glad it's
that they
no
listened
cheaper.
and they noticed people were having some issues with the price, and they dropped the price to $30.
This is a good thing.
So which is good. So I'm no longer spending $40. I'm gonna get it I'm gonna get my disc for $30, which is nice.
Me too.
And I'm fucking crazy excited to play it.
I'm gonna come over and play at y'all guys' place. It's gonna be great.
You're welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get it for PS5.
I'm gonna do the same thing with the PS4 that I did with the PS3, which is I didn't get the PS3 until like 3 or 4 years after it had already been out, and I just picked up Metal Gear Solid 4 and Heavy Rain and all these like AAA titles.
Yep.
Mass Effect 2. Yeah.
Did you play The Last of Us?
Yes. Oh yeah.
You finished it?
Yeah.
It's really good,
Yeah.
right? You should play the DLC. Did you play the DLC?
Yeah, we
Oh, I
talked
don't-
about it
I
last
don't have a
week.
No,
PS3.
you were the one who didn't play the DLC. Have you rectified that?
I've only lost money since the last show.
Oh,
Where'd the thief box go?
I got it back here. Someone may want no.
Where's my notebook?
Somebody may want to pick up.
Can you grab that mic?
Hang on.
Fucking Triceratops isn't happy.
I think it's called a
Triceratops.
hentosaur.
We should give him a name.
A hentosaur.
Oh god. All right. Anyways,
Thanks,
That's
bro.
all we have news-wise. So, as I said in the first segment, Nolan's out this week, and for the sake of simplicity, we're not going to have a community segment, but we are going to roll right into the 4-player minute. We'll bring back the
4P minute.
we'll bring back the community segment next week. Nolan oversees all that stuff, so he'll be back next week. So, 4-player minute. We all say something. It's changed a little bit, Mike, since you've been on. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Still should be pretty simple. We say something we are hyped about, something we are worried about, so our sweat, and our thank you for the week, and our fuck you for the week.
That's good. Thank you.
All right. Brad.
I don't
Starts
mean to
us
be a
off.
negative Nancy, but I got 2 fuck yous instead of a thank you this
Brad.
week. But first, let's start with my hype. My hype
Negative
is South
Nancy.
Park and the Stick of Truth. I really didn't realize that it was next week. Next week. I thought it was like the end of March.
So good.
Fucking next week. Oh, what if that game is
What if
like
that game tanks?
an 8-hour stinker?
Oh, go
You never
fuck
know.
yourself. It's
It could
not.
be.
It's not.
It
hope
could
not.
be.
Dude, you got to remember, on
It's
top
not.
of it, on top of everything, this is a licensed game.
La la
could-
la 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 la.
It could suck.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
I don't know, but I really didn't think it was next week. Oh my god, I'm so broke. Okay, my sweat is actually Gamefly sent me, should be here any day now, a copy of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I plan to play that with Malia on the feed because she actually, one of her favorite games growing up was Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Super Nintendo, and she's pumped to play Dixie. But everything I've read in reviews is that the game is hard as fucking balls,
Nice.
and that the bosses can be really frustrating. So I'm worried, like how much progress we'll be able to make together, and how much she'll be willing to actually put up with, which is probably not going to be much. So yeah, that's my gaming sweat. I'm gonna throw in a little third fuck you too, just cause fuck it, right? Fuck it.
Well, I still need
That's a
to
fourth
fuck you.
fuck
Can
you.
I borrow one of yours?
I'll just take one of yours. So my first fuck you goes to the Fable Anniversary Edition.
Oh, yeah, how was that? Was
The
that any
Fable
good?
1 Anniversary.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
re-release.
Like, dude, I was like, Malia, her favorite game of all time is Fable 2. She's played it 7 times. She played Fable 3 twice. She hates that game, but she played it twice because she really likes Fable. But
She also played Rise of the Argonauts from beginning to
yeah,
end.
that's just weird. She never played through Fable 1. And I was like, dude, they're coming out with an Anniversary Edition. It's not going to look like shit. You should finally play it on the 360. That's the controller you like. And I got her like kind of excited for that. And I got it from Gamefly. That game runs like dog shit. Fuck Microsoft. They should be embarrassed to let a game that's that fucking garbage like even
How does it run like
release to
dog shit?
people. Like, how much did that even cost? They should be fucking ashamed.
I think I
Like
got
the frame rate, like constantly, is just dog shit. Like it is an embarrassment. Like just a performance disaster.
I think I have the Lost Chapters on
Yeah,
PC
like
somewhere.
Lost Chapters on PC would run way better than this
Yeah.
piece of shit.
I think I have it. If you
It's
want to borrow
fucking
it.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
And like Malia's like, I can't play this. It's giving me a headache. And I'm like, yeah, you probably don't know what I'm saying, but the frame rate is dog shit. And
Yeah.
that's why you're getting a headache. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Like, people paid money for this garbage. Go fuck yourself for allowing something like Fable was a somewhat beloved game on the original Xbox, and they let whatever shit studio crap this
I
out.
was looking forward to
No,
it because I
don't even
wanted to
pick
play
it up.
that game
Don't
again.
even pick it up. Play it on a goddamn PC. Jesus Christ. My other fuck you goes
What?
to...
That's 4 fuck yous, Brad.
That was my first of 3 fuck yous.
Wait, we haven't even done the other 2?
No.
Okay.
That was a big fuck.
Three
Yeah.
fuck
That was a big
yous.
fuck you. My next fuck you goes to GameStop. I don't know why, but I got a hankering to play Alice, the original Alice,
That's why
on
you
the
got
feed.
Okay.
The original Alice on the feed, which is free. You just download it, but you have to have Alice Madness Returns, right?
Yep.
I just want to play the original Alice without the headache of trying to get an old PC game working for broadcasting. That's also broadcastable. That can be a real pain with old PC games. So I'm like, wait, they released the Xbox Live Arcade version. I just have to get Alice Madness Returns. Why the fuck is Alice Madness Returns $40 at GameStop used?
Wait, what? No.
Really?
Yes.
When I bought, okay,
$40.
$40. Did it go rare all of a sudden?
it must have, because there was a time, because when I traded, because I bought it when it came out, I traded it in, and I think when I traded it in, it was selling for like 26.
What the fuck is that? Like, when did that get? No, that was just weird. And my final fuck you goes to me. Goes to me because I have not played nearly enough Bravely Default, and I feel terrible.
What's Bravely Default?
You'll have to listen to a previous episode. We don't have time to get into it. It's the new RPG for 3DS that's actually an old school Final Fantasy.
Oh, wait, I saw somebody playing this on
If you're
feed.
playing old school,
Nolan.
since you're playing Final Fantasy 6, you'd probably like
I
it.
am like still sub 10 hours in that game, and I feel bad.
I'm only 5, so
Well,
but
Is it
those
holding
5
up pretty
hours
well?
have been wonderful. I finally it took me a while to finally understand the systems of that game, but now that I understand them, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, so you're just gonna have a bunch of fuck yous?
Yeah.
Crispy?
What the fuck?
Yeah, what was that?
That was Final Fantasy 6
VI.
intro.
That's nice. Okay. Okay, so my hype is also for South Park and the Stick of Truth. Super, super, super excited for that game. I know Nolan's been talking about it a lot on the podcast. Me and him are both really big South Park fans. We watch it together a lot. I'm probably about as equally excited as he is.
I'm excited too.
But more excited than Brad is.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
Clearly.
But yeah, that game's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
Nice.
So much fun. My sweat is for Dark Souls 2 only because I'm worried about it consuming my life. Because I've been playing a lot of the regular Dark Souls lately. And that game is so good. That game is so good. And everything I've been reading says that this is just more of that. This is more of that, which is all I wanted.
You know what else is so good?
What's that?
Final Fantasy Tactics. My other fuck you for the week goes to Chris Davis. Because like 10 minutes into your Final Fantasy Tactics broadcast, which I caught on my phone while I was working, I heard you saying, oh no, I don't have Payday 2 on PS3. Oh, I can't broadcast PS3. And I knew that sneak fuck Chris Davis was in chat trying to convince you to play Payday 2
Dude, he was!
instead of playing Final Fantasy Tactics.
He made me do it!
Jesus Christ.
But yeah.
I hate
No,
it.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. That's a weird squaring off. Why would it
Sneaky
ever
fuck.
Why would it ever come down to a rivalry between Payday 2 and Final Fantasy?
I know, right? This should not be a rivalry.
That's weird, right?
Hey. This is a recording.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
remember that.
Anyway, my
You gotta keep it clean.
No, we just gotta
No
get-
one's favorite game of all time is Payday 2. That's all I'm saying.
Nolan's favorite games?
No one's.
Oh.
No one.
This could be like, what? That
Nolan's
does not make sense.
Nolan's favorite game of all time. Yes.
No one is a
Chris
closet
Davis.
Payday 2 fan.
How dare you?
Trying to educate the child. That's all. And it's free, damn it.
I never said I wasn't gonna play it. I just didn't happen to be playing it at that particular moment. And he got really upset. My thank you for the week. My thank you for the week goes to a YouTuber by the name of Vati or Vati Video. This is Dark Souls related.
Oh,
Is
he the lore guy?
He's the lore guy. He's like the big lore guy. It's basically between him and another channel called Epic Name Bro. Both
Yeah.
of them are very good. I kind of like listening to Vati a little more because he has a English accent and it just makes a little more sense
There you
with
go.
what he's talking about. He does a really good series called Prepare to Cry where he kind of lays out in video form like how tragic the fucking world of Dark Souls is. It's really interesting. I've actually been listening to it back and forth on my way to work. Really, really cool. Really made that commute melt away. And my fuck you, since I didn't really have a real fuck you, my fuck you for the week goes to fucking summoners in Final Fantasy Tactics. I hate them even more than Chris Davis. They're fucking terrible. They're fucking the worst. And they summon their stupid little Moogle to heal everybody, and then they summon something that takes they summon a fucking Ifrit or like Shiva or something, and the animation takes like 10 minutes to get through, and it's like a fucking goddamn ice storm, and all your characters are getting hit, and they're going, oh my god, and then a little damage number pops up, and it's like 21, and I'm like,
The slow animations actually have a lot to do with the PSP port. It's one of the technical issues with it. So Sometimes you'll see an animation and it seems really slow, and even the sound goes out of sync. That's the PSP issue. But
Well, no, it's not even that. But like the actual animation itself
it's not in sync.
takes forever.
Yeah, I know. It's slow down,
Mm.
and the audio goes out of sync. It's a PSP issue, but
No,
I recommended that one because the translation is
You're
still
playing
worth it.
Tactics on the PSP?
Well, I'm
Emulated.
yes,
yeah.
I'm playing on a PSP.
It's a good game, right, Nick?
Yeah. A
Thank
long
you.
time ago I played that game.
Thank you, Crispy.
I'm sorry, Chris Davis. I love you.
Mike? Are you
All
ready?
right, so I got for my hype, Last Guardian.
How did I know?
Forever,
How did I know?
forever until it comes out.
Forever until it
I
comes
think
out.
I think we decided that.
And then you
My
play it and
sweat
you're like,
is The Last Guardian
Yeah.
because I don't know if it's ever going to come out. I got two.
Which means
thank
your
you.
hype is going to be the Last Guardian for a long
I
time.
got 2 thank yous.
Nice balance.
2 thank yous. First one is GOG.com for giving away Dungeon Keeper for free in response to EA being dicks about making Dungeon Keeper this huge microtransaction bullshit game.
Mhm.
And my second thank you is for Chai Tai in chat for gifting me that game last night.
Yearwalk.
Yearwalk.
That game's a trip. Make sure you get the companion.
oh my
app.
god, yeah.
There's a companion app?
There's a
Oh,
companion
man.
app, and you have to have it
Oh shit.
because you
Yeah,
don't
it's-
actually finish
I
the
have to
game
have
until
it?
you go through the companion app. Dude, just shut up, and play it. Just shut up, just shut up, Mike.
Does it become like a meta thing?
Yeah, it becomes super
Could be
meta,
okay.
and I love it. And it like, oh my
okay.
god,
Shit, I just
That
real-
game scratches so many peculiar little itches I have
No,
that
no.
most games don't even come close to
No, me
touching.
and Malia are really into
I
it.
just
so good.
I just realized that I promised
Yearwalk.
Emily that we would play Yearwalk together when she was here.
I don't even know.
Just realized, completely forgot to do
I
that.
started it up for
You can
like
play medieval.
5 minutes last night and then turned it off
Dude, it's so good.
and went to sleep.
It is
but
good. It is
I need
quite
to try
good.
It. I'm gonna try it.
Get the companion app and read about it.
Is it a companion app to where you play with somebody else?
No, the
No,
companion app it's a free it's basically a database. It tells
Where you
you about
read
like
about
all the
the lore.
legends that
Okay.
these things come from.
Oh, okay. So
and then there's a sealed off section that you can access after you beat the game.
I got you.
Just
Cool.
shut up and play it. Just shut up. I'm sorry.
My thank you for the week goes to Mike for being the only one who remembers that this is a 4-player minute. Really though, my thank you goes to Konami for listening to people who were bitching about the price and being at least considerate enough to drop the price by $10, which is nice. My hype goes to, this is weird. So I'm excited to play Thief, but I've already said Thief before, so I'm gonna go with Batman Arkham Origins
What?
DLC,
What?
which they announced today, which is centered around Mr. Freeze,
Oh yeah.
which was my
Did
my
they get
favorite.
Arnold
Is it gonna be
Schwarzenegger
called
to-
Poopsicle? No, I'm sorry. That was mean. Go ahead. Continue. Mr. Freeze was really cool in Arkham City. I
Exactly.
hope he.
He was a great
Yeah,
character
he was
in Arkham
really
City,
cool.
and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Oh my god! You
in
know
Arkham
what?
Origins.
I was looking at a box of the Wii U version of Arkham City today, and I realized that was
You mean
also
Arkham Origins?
Arkham City,
Oh,
and I realized that port was also handled by fucking WB Games Montreal.
Mhm.
That's where they got the idea for those stupid shock gauntlets. Like,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
like, oh my god, I don't want to talk about Batman. Go ahead. Sorry, continue.
I know you hate that game. I didn't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Why'd you hate it?
I don't hate it.
No, don't
I don't
get
hate
it
it.
started.
I don't.
My sweat goes to South Park because let's be honest, guys, it's an Obsidian game, which I like Obsidian, but more so, it's a licensed game, and they haven't really shown a lot lot of it.
Yeah,
They've shown some of it. They released like the first 13, 15 minutes of it, whatever, last week, which looked good. I saw I waited in line for like a half an hour to watch a demo of it at E3, and it was
That
like
was good,
it was
too.
like a 10-minute demo, which not bad, but you know. What if that's all there is to it? I mean, what if it's like you said? What if it's an 8-hour long stinker? Who the fuck knows? It could go either way at this point.
South Park.
There hasn't been a good
know,
South Park.
The thing to take away from this though is that at the end of the day, it's still a story, original story written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker. So even if it is an 8-hour stinker,
It'll always be funny.
It's an 8-hour
as a
episode
game,
of
it'll at least be
South Park.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
It'll be. But the thing is,
Story-wise.
if it's not fun to play, I'm not gonna want to sit through that entertaining story.
I think it'll be fun to play.
Did you play
Anyways.
Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah.
you like
Don't
that?
get me wrong. I am excited for it, and I think it is more likely that it's going to be good. I'm actually more worried about it because you guys are so fucking excited for it. I will be heartbroken if I have to watch you all
Have a
wither and die.
meltdown?
Nolan
Wither and die.
Nolan will melt. if he finds out that
He's
this
just
game
gonna
is
start
terrible.
throwing away all of his South Park stuff.
It's he will die.
No one really talks about the fact that the combat system looks
You're
kind
gonna
of
feel really bad.
really
if no one
simple
dies.
and whatever.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the Mario and Luigi RPG
Oversimplified.
games, actually.
Did you watch the 10-minute preview
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Stick of Truth?
No, yeah, it looks good, and that demo we saw at E3 looked good, but they also didn't let us touch it at E3. They just let us watch somebody else play it.
It'll be fun.
Who knows?
Crap in
It's
the
probably gonna be
urinal.
fine,
Loot
but
the urinal.
The
I'm a
urinal
little-
deuce.
I'm a little worried. That's all.
Good.
And my fuck you for the week goes to Sherlock for being so goddamn good.
Dude, shut up. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not gonna tell you anything about it. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying
are.
it's so
You were
fucking good, and I have to wait another
That
year,
wedding speech.
year and a half.
You know what I
Oh
started
my god,
watching?
that wedding speech was so good. So good.
Did you ever watch Continuum on Netflix?
What?
Continuum?
We got to end this show. I don't know what Mike's talking about.
Oh god. Thank God that this show is over.
Thank God.
Anyways,
Praise
Praise
God.
be to God.
Mike,
Praise be to God.
God on high.
thank God that you were around and that you were here to be on the show tonight. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. It's
Yep.
always fun to come and talk. And
Exactly. And thank you for jamming with us again.
Thanks for rapping about Dark Souls.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Rapping about Dark Souls?
Brad doesn't know what to say.
Can you make rap music with that guitar?
4playernetwork.com, guys. Oh god.
I've got a dark soul. I need to go and play right now. Need to fight. Need to go. Need to kill.
That's not rap.
That's not rap.
That's all right.
I'm too
That was
white.
pretty good. That was pretty good.
That's
I'm
pretty
too
good,
white. I
but
just can't do it.
that's
That was my best attempt
That
at
was
rap.
about
was
as
my
far
best
from
attempt.
rap.
that's racist, but
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. 4playernetwork.com. Of course, if you're watching us live at 4pp.tv, stick around after the show. We'll be recording a new release Tuesday featuring Thief. And we'll catch you next week for another episode. Peace out.